Hey, good morning, Ben. So my whole point was, I love the place
Yeah.
I was telling you about, but
Yeah.
but brutal.
Wow.
I mean, I could not imagine. There's so many employees. I mean,
Yeah.
I could only imagine how many freaking people could call in sick on a certain day.
Yes.
And you're like dealing.
And then their service would be bad. And yeah.
It was brutal. Hey guys, welcome to the show before the show. A few people in. Like, subscribe, share the show. Ding. Lizzie?
Yes.
That's our sheet.
That's our sheet.
I'm like,
there's so much.
Holy crap. There's lots.
It's the weekend dump, as you call it.
Ay. So I guess the eclipse can be seen throughout the St. Louis area now. That's what I'm being told. I was told it couldn't, then I was told that you could.
It's 98%. We can see 98% here.
What time does it hit today?
It's a little bit before 2.
Okay.
It should be.
Megan told me 2 to 2:04, or
I think it should be completely over by about 2:05, 2:04.
So you can't look up in the sky before, or it's just when it's totally in the midst of.
Totally in the midst of. If you look up before, you won't see it. So you have like
I thought I remember seeing it like coming towards.
Maybe you can.
The sun.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in 2017, and it seemed like it gradually got.
I remember it got
dark.
It got a little cooler.
Yes, that was the thing that I noticed too, was the temperature drop. Yeah, the temperature drop was interesting.
Is it okay? It's all right for me to look at it without glasses, right? I can look at it without glasses.
No, apparently it'll burn your retina right out.
Well, then I get disability the next day, right?
You absolutely would. The disability here at Renew Media Group is phenomenal.
Where do you get? I need some glasses. Where do I get glasses?
Go to Lowe's and get your glasses.
They sell them at Lowe's.
And
I was at Lowe's yesterday.
And they were $4. They're $4. But because you have to get some now, a lot of people who ordered them off of Amazon, they don't have the correct astronomical code on them, so they won't save your eyes. I'm not saying I believe any of this, but
I'm just saying.
I think people are doing that to sell some stuff.
Yeah. You think?
Mm-hmm. And Alex is saying, yes, it begins at like 2:46. And its totality is at 2 p.m.
Yeah, that's what Megan told me.
Yeah.
Okay, 2. I got it. I'm sorry. I was just making sure.
Well, and Bindy's saying her son will be on 44 to go pick up your son. You need to be careful because...
Welding helmet.
Yeah, a welding helmet. That's right. You need to be careful because you were talking about all the accidents that happened in 2007.
Yeah, we'll give you some of that information coming up on the show before the show. So if you have to get you have to get glasses at Lowe's, right?
You can get them anywhere, but Lowe's has them for $4.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see any yesterday. Seems like all the stores are out of the glasses now.
That's what I'm hearing too. Probably by the time the show's over, if you don't already have them, you're not going to have them. But you know what? You can make a box. Remember those boxes in the olden days? You took a box.
Oh my God.
And then you put the little black sheen on it. Now they're saying all those people had their retinas.
Libraries have them for free. What?
I've heard that too, but I heard they don't have them anymore. I see a lot of people on social media that are taking actual road trips and spending the night and going to places and.
Yeah, teach their own.
Yeah. Well, you could go down to Eagle Pass today if you want to and invite all of your legals in for 9 minutes. It's going to hit for 9 minutes. So if you all have any illegal friends, invite them all over through Eagle Pass today.
Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Go ahead and pass that along, everybody. We appreciate it. Good morning to everybody who's jumping in already. It is Monday. It is April 8th. Getting going about 8 o'clock here.
I always like seeing Alex on bright and early, our marketing dude.
No, I love it when things are smooth on Monday morning.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
It's hard to get my tired ass moving this morning, but
I can understand that. It was hard too, but we are here with no glitches. And even Alex is up and watching. Life is really good today.
On my way to St. Louis this weekend. Highway signs were saying expected delays during the eclipse, as if St. Louis traffic wasn't bad enough. No, Joe says knock on wood.
I'm knocking on wood.
No. Here's the thing. I don't believe in curses. I don't believe in all those superstitions, but I do believe that if people believe in them, they can do it to themselves.
I believe that too. I absolutely believe that.
I don't believe in bad days. I believe in bad moments.
True. You can have a bad moment and the rest of your day can be good. It's all about your attitude.
Yes, it is.
All about your attitude.
Man, my attitude has been like perfect forever. So positive and perfect.
Oh,
forever.
yes. You have been just so perfect.
Perfect attitude.
Uh-huh. Yep. Is your nose growing a little bit this morning?
All of our noses continue to grow.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Noses, ears.
I know. I look at myself and I'm like, how did my nose get so big?
Bellies.
Yeah, all of it for me. All of it.
No, I'm speaking for myself.
I'm speaking for myself too.
Nose, ears.
I
don't know. All right, show before the show. I don't know what to do. Everything's so smooth. This is great.
I'm having a great morning.
I'm looking down. I had to, I got up early to work out. Yeah. So I like to do that before in the morning. Some people can't work out in the morning. They have to do it at night. If I don't work out in the morning, it seems like too much stuff goes on. And I'll never get to it. I know people know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
But no, I was up at 5:30 and I still trying to put this show together. Still couldn't put it together in time. But now that's done, but I'll have to do the workout later.
Good. And Tricia says happiness is essential. Surround yourself with people that make you feel like sunshine. Amen.
I don't know what that's like. I think
true. Everybody around here is like sunshine.
I think when I think I got a weird emoji for Megan on the chat line when I said, "Yeah, I've always been so happy." And positive.
and I put an emoji underneath there too of Pinocchio's nose.
Oh, you did?
I did.
No, they don't. People do not want to hear negativity.
They don't.
They do not want to hear over and over and over again.
I can't do negativity.
No, especially people who can't do it. It'll make somebody crazy.
Well,
and then I've made people crazy.
And when people are negative, I drive them fruit, because as soon as they're negative, I'm like, well, let's talk about something good. And I know there's negative stuff. So that's
probably not what people who are negative want to hear at the time.
No, they don't. They're like, shut up, Ezzy, just shut up.
But we're happy it's April 8th. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Thanks for pushing that out there. Yeah, you know what? What is this today? Indie? Is this indie rock? What is this?
It's house music.
House. I like the house. I'm into the house.
Minimal house. It's called minimal house.
I think minimal house may be.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I like the Kickstart My Heart, but not the Wish version.
Right.
I like Thunderstruck, but not the mail order.
Right. The mail order
Thunderstruck
version.
Joe, I need you to make me a coffee, please.
Yeah, come on, Joe. Hurry up about it. No, he's going to be bringing you in either a white soda or, I don't know. What do you want, a white soda?
No, that's true. Don't get me started. I'll say about that off air. I went and asked our friend Ty Dennis, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ty says that he had never heard of anything of me talking like my experiences. He had never heard of that before.
See, I never heard of that before either.
But if you look it up.
Yeah. Apparently it's a thing. After you said it, I looked it up and it's a thing.
Chris says, but the mainstream media says if it bleeds, it leads. Of course it does. Everybody's like,
right.
I love Donald, the guy who cut my hair, but he's like, oh, you need to have a show of positivity, happy news. And I'm like, Donald, I'm telling you, you're wrong on this one. Guess what? 25 years in the news business show me when the positive stories are all on the news, ratings go down.
I can believe
they do. They go down.
That's
People
right.
They get sick of it's like the cotton candy. It's like
that's right. There's only so much cotton candy you can eat.
No, I'd rather get sick on the cotton candy than sick on the bad.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Me too. But we got to tell the bad because there's more of that going on than anything.
Like au gratin potatoes.
Oh, au gratin potatoes. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Thank God. Although I have had some decently recently. I used to call them all rotten.
Yeah. Okay.
Not all gratin.
Mm-hmm. Give me a French fry. I just want a French fry. That's what I want.
But that's another thing. That place.
Yeah.
There were some fries served. I'm not going to mention the name.
Okay. Right. Yeah. We don't want to hurt their business.
Cold. Just very disappointed.
Yeah. And that when you go to a place and you expect it to be great and it was all this hype and then you go there and you're like, this wasn't so good.
It has
such a letdown.
It has so much potential.
And maybe you just went on a bad day.
Saturday's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I would think so.
All right, guys, let's service. Oh, yeah. Service was terrible. We're not mentioning the name of the place because I don't want to do that. They have so much potential, a great place in the St. Louis area that a lot of people will be going to. They got to get their act together when it comes to service. And I don't even know how you do that. They'd probably need 3 managers to take care of that entire place.
Yeah, because it's so big.
Oh, somebody says Chick-fil-A's a letdown.
Yeah, Vic would agree with you on that.
No, it's not. I told you I loved Chick-fil-A until I started reading it's the worst fast food restaurant you can eat. Yeah. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. But it's so bad for you.
Lizzie, your hair looks amazeballs today.
Amazeballs. And see, and this is, I just asked the person on YouTube, who are you?
No work ethic anymore.
I think I know this person.
Oh, okay.
But I just said, private mess me. I want to know who you are.
It says the show before the show. Cancel this. Are we ready to rock and roll? I think we're ready.
We're ready.
Ben, 100%. It's No Wendy's. Best service
anywhere. For sure. For sure. I am so excited. And we can talk about this later, but their new place is coming.
Yeah, Wendy's too.
Yes.
Wendy's Roadhouse in Defiance.
I'm so excited. And my friend Stephen Calvert is going to be playing on their first day.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. We saw him at the one here.
How about that?
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I already have it on my calendar.
For people in St. Louis area in Defiance, not only it's a reboot of down there. They've got Wendy's Roadhouse. Then I'm told across the street they're going to have Elite Bourbons, an elite bourbon place.
How fun.
Literally right across the street. You've got the wineries. There's a brand new butcher shop that's being put right in there as well. That really trying to the localization, let's just say, going back to how it should have been after a brief hiatus.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Pro Joe, we can go ahead and start the show. Get this bad boy kicking if you're ready to rock and roll. There it is. We're about house. Sorry, guys. It's going to be house. I'm making the call.
Yep.
It just seems like it's more what we're trying to do.
Yep. Love it.
All right. And welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe taking care of the video and the sound. Welcome to our April 8th show, the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. Cancel this on cancelthisshow.com. Of course, we have several platforms that you watch us on. And of course, everybody knows how to find us when it comes to the audio platforms as well. But you can watch us on X, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, Cloud Hub. We're there 2 hours, Monday through Friday. News headlines, politics, the water cooler talk, what everybody's talking about. Interviews from all over the country, cancel culture education, and a lot going on today as well. Okay, hope everybody had a great weekend. It is April 8th. Lots to get to today. A lot of Trump news from over the weekend, including new polling. How about Trump's playlist at Mar-a-Lago? Do you know he controls all the music? Is that being a control freak or not?
No, I think it's great. The music is a big deal. I can understand if you have the ability to control the music, do it.
Yeah. So,
Do it.
and then also this morning he came out with an abortion message, which is very interesting. Pretty much everybody knows it's the only issue polling wise that the Republicans and or Donald Trump have not done well in. We'll break it down a little bit when it comes to that. Morgan Wallen's in trouble again. I just think that he needs to stop drinking. Let's just put it that way. We'll tell you what he did. Charged with 3 felonies. Entertainers were never meant to be people you look up to. Let's just put it that way.
For sure.
Some good news from Florida and some bad news from Florida. What's actually happening there? Some other terrible news regarding a 64-year-old man, grandpa, beaten because he was a Trump supporter. Literally standing there minding his own business at an auto shop. We're going to give you the news on what happened there and also show you a video of how he became very, very popular. Ann Wagner coming out against the Biden administration on Israel's behalf. We'll break that down. We've also got good news when it comes to the RNC chair, Michael Whatley, what he is vouching he's going to do for the elections. Will this make a difference? If you didn't believe that mainstream media tries to come after you, tries to stop you, tries to not allow you to have your freedom of speech, we have yet another incident. Brazil, which we know is becoming very, very communist. They're siding with communists. They're going to either take away X, the platform in Brazil, or regulate it because Elon Musk is refusing to stop people's free speech. Can't make the stuff up. Welcome to 2024. We'll get into all of that coming up. First of all, some laundry list of things. First of all, we broadcast live out of the St. Louis metropolitan area. So kudos to the UFL. And I know most of the country may not give a damn. Like, what the hell are you talking about, Vic? The Battlehawks put up over 40,317 people in attendance for their home opener this year in the UFL. That is a massive freaking number. I don't care if the league makes it or not. It's, again, another FU to Stan Kroenke in the NFL. And granted, St. Louis City screwed it up first with Stan Kroenke, okay? I'm fair on these issues. St. Louis City screwed it up, then we know what Stan Kroenke did. But Stan Kroenke wasn't honest. And then St. Louis spent a ton of money that they shouldn't have spent trying to correct a situation that was never going to be corrected. And then they dropped bomb after bomb after bomb on St. Louis after they left. And then his little lynchmen continued to drop bombs on St. Louis. Attendance and fan support was never an issue in St. Louis. Over 40,000 showing up for the Battlehawks home opener, which was a win. St. Louis was always a football town, and it will always be a football town, whether the NFL is here or not. As a matter of fact, did you know that high school recruiting in the St. Louis area is one of the best throughout the country when it comes to football players? So deal with it. And then you've got Mizzou, of course, as well. And if you provide a decent product, you see it sellout after sellout after sellout after sellout in Columbia, Missouri. So congrats to the Battlehawks for doing that. While we're talking about sports, because it is a topic as well. If anybody did not see Caitlin Clark in Iowa yesterday, they lost. They played arguably one of the greatest college basketball teams of all time. South Carolina, congratulations, undefeated. They won. Caitlin Clark, though, came out and showed the world why she is unbelievable.
Sure is. Love her.
I'm sorry to say this, but I doubt the women's game next year will be as exciting without Caitlin Clark.
I agree.
I'm just the whole story, her humbleness, her leadership. And it also came to a point where it started to galvanize people because for whatever reason, there were so many damn women that should be supporting women. But because Caitlin is not a woke stir and did not promote some political ideology, there were people going after her.
They were
women, black women, white women, Latino that played the game that did not want to call her the greatest player ever.
And she is the GOAT. She absolutely is the GOAT. And that is sad. And I will call out women. Sometimes women are the meanest to women and they are. And I'm not saying our listeners are, but it's like as soon as a woman succeeds, instead of saying, good job, sister, they break them down. And this is the same way what's happening with Caitlin. And you know what I think? I think you're right. I don't think we will be watching college as much. And I'm talking about myself and maybe other women, but it might maybe if she goes to the pros, that might get me to watch the pros now because I really enjoy watching her a lot.
Well, what would have been great was the fact that she gave up her final year of eligibility to go to the WNBA. She'll be the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. She'll go to Indiana. And The average starting salary is $86,000. She's already got millions and millions and millions of dollars being offered to her to play in certain leagues. What's interesting is if she would have stayed for her final year, her NIL money probably would have equated to 20 million. Maybe her endorsements are going to be off the charts, and they probably will as a pro athlete. But when she goes, the WNBA is as woke as it gets. I'm just going to tell you right now.
I know.
I mean, I just pray the best for her, and that the peer pressure and everything else doesn't get to her eventually, because she's going to be in locker rooms where everybody, I mean, there's people who are against her. Now she's a great player, but she doesn't come out against a lot of the political issues that the WNBA does.
I'm so glad she doesn't.
And she actually has a boyfriend. I'll just leave it. I'll leave it with that.
Yes, she has a boyfriend, and she shuts her mouth and plays the game. And even yesterday, I don't know if you guys noticed, anybody that watched it, she lost, well, her team lost, and the camera crew were on her the whole time. And she didn't cry. You could tell she was disappointed, but she kept her head up. And I just thought she was a badass even in the loss.
Yeah. Dawn Staley, the head coach from South Carolina, who's an amazing coach, who's done a terrific job recruiting, got her 3rd national championship, made it a point to thank Caitlin for doing what she did. But then I thought she still took a shot at her.
I did too.
She said, for being one of our game's greatest.
One of our games.
And it's like, okay, Dawn, whatever. And then, by the way, on Saturday, the winning coach of South Carolina, Dawn Staley, was asked, and I didn't like how the reporter put her on the spot, because there's a bunch of Weasley reporters out there. They're not really looking to cover the story. There's always people looking to mess with something that's good.
That's right.
They're trying to bring some little sliver of evil to try to say, look at me, I got them to do that, or I gotcha, I did this, I did that. She should have never been asked about transgenders, in my humble opinion, the day before the national championship game. You guys may disagree with me. She was asked that by her reporter. She took a long pause because you could tell she did not want to answer. But at the end of it, Dawn Staley, the head freaking coach of South Carolina, arguably one of the greatest basketball teams ever, which we just saw complete an undefeated season with a national championship run, said that she is all for transgenders playing college basketball.
Yeah, when they won, I was, of all people to lose to, I really wanted them to beat that team. I know they're undefeated, but that coach is so woke. And think about what she did.
But she's woke, and it was interesting, and I'm certain, but she's also, she hasn't talked about it a lot publicly, but she's gay. Dawn Staley's gay, and there's been lots of links to her being linked to her assistant coach. And over the years, she doesn't want to talk about it, and she shouldn't be talking about it privately. But when she was asked that question, I guarantee people knew what her preference is and or was, and tried to light a firestorm. It should be all basketball, and it wasn't. But she still, when forced, she decided to answer the question. And how can a woman coach say it's all right for a biological male to play in the college game? I
don't get that either. Mind. But that doesn't surprise me. It's like, what is this with gay women that they're okay?
Because they're worried about being canceled.
I guess that's what it is. And that makes no sense to me, that a gay woman, 2 women are in a relationship, but then they're saying it's okay for a man to play against them. It makes no sense to me, other than you're right. They don't want to be canceled. Other than that, it makes no sense to me at all.
We love it when you guys jump in on the podcast line. Your live interaction with us, with each other, is fantastic. Terry says, I thought it was nice that the South Carolina coach gave her a shot.
Too.
It was.
I did too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I just thought it would have been perfect had she not said, you're one of the greats.
Yeah.
Because Lynette Woodard, who Caitlin broke her record, and I know there's people who like Lynette, but Lynette even couldn't be respectful to Caitlin. This woman, Lynette, was invited to Iowa Senior Day to speak to the team. And then what did she do this past weekend? She came out and said, last time I checked, nobody broke my record. Play with a man's ball, and you can only score for 2-point buckets because they didn't have a 3-point line.
Right.
I was like, just be respectful to people.
That's right.
What a biatch.
Definitely a biatch. And I thought it was.
And I'm tired of the African-American community not giving the respect to a white woman.
But that's what it's all about.
Not everybody.
That's what.
But the biggest, I guess, adversaries to Caitlin were people that thought they were African Americans.
Yeah.
Why just not give a white girl respect? She's the best player ever. I'm sorry.
A lot of people, that's just women in general, they can't, well, actually people in general, when somebody steals your record, they can't just say, good job, well done. They have to say, well, but I had a man's ball, or, oh, we couldn't have a 3-pot. I mean, it was just, yeah, I thought it was not classy.
But at the end of the day, it was still an amazing story. I can't wait to see what the ratings were yesterday. Monday nights, 12, I think it was 14.3 million or 12.3. It was that was the game against UConn on a Friday night, was the highest rated ESPN college. It was the highest rated event ever besides NFL. The number one, even men's basketball. Great. It was amazing to see what they did with that.
It was exciting.
And I'm sorry, but the Iowa girls were just so damn likable.
They were.
I mean,
even if you didn't know, if you saw the two teams that played yesterday, you're right, Vic. The Iowa team is like the girls
not that
next
the
door
South Carolina
sweet.
Wasn't. It was just.
Oh, I thought some of them were kind of ratchet. I really did. And it's not, and I'm not talking about race or any of that. They were just, made, and it's basketball. I get it. But the Iowa, they were just classy, and like the girl that would live next door and grew up playing basketball. And the other ones were just like, I'm gonna cut your throat when you make a basket.
Hey, but you know what though? If I'm recruiting,
you're gonna go for the ratchet ones. I understand.
It's why they're the national champions, because they went 9 deep.
Absolutely, they're wonderful players.
And why Caitlin had nice teammates.
I just don't know if I would invite them over for a Dr. Pepper though.
Yeah, I understand. I get it. But anyway, that's a big story. If you guys want to bring your ideas to the chat line, you can go do that. I just as they move forward, I seriously pray for Caitlin Clark and what awaits her in the WNBA, because she has been so damn good in college. I almost feel as if she's been insulated.
Yes, I do too.
At Iowa, with teammates that love and respect her and have not forced her to come on any issues, and a coach that loved and respect her. So let's hope. She doesn't try to get pushed into these agendas, because I'm telling you, those WNBA locker rooms, I used to cover them. I was in those locker rooms, and it's tough. I mean, the NBA is already woke. The WNBA is twice as woke. So maybe Caitlin can be a breath of fresh air. I don't know.
I hope so too. As I have, my youngest daughter is quite a great athlete, and we have these conversations about, we watch it yesterday and say, be a Caitlin Clark and not one of these other ones, and don't let that negative attitude rub off on you, because already in high school, kids see that already today, that kind of behavior.
Yeah, and by the way, and that behavior from Angel, if you know who she is, Angel Reese from LSU, she has just continued to make bad comments after bad comments. She is a sore loser. I agree with your comment, Jim. She said the tournament was fixed. Okay.
Sore loser.
She's entitled. She's all about that BLM movement. She's an entitlement. She is a player of Kim Mulkey, who this whole country can do without. So whatever. It is what it is. And finally, Paul says that coach from South Carolina, she's going to downplay Clark's accomplishments.
Of course she is.
Whatever. She came out and
she at least said something.
Yeah. And she took the mic back. That. She took the mic back to do it.
Yeah, she did. So I appreciate it.
And it is a topic that we covered because it was huge. I mean, this story was huge across America, and it does have some political undertones, even though Caitlin Clark has never talked politics. And I hope she doesn't talk politics.
Yeah, I hope she never does.
The point of bringing it up was the fact that it captured America's sports enthusiast attention, and even those who aren't sports enthusiasts. Plus, it also is one of those situations as they move forward. Caitlin, it's not too late, is it? Did you already declare? I think she already declared for the WNBA draft, unfortunately.
I think she did, but
I wish she could come back for another year.
I wish
I could do it.
Yeah, for sure.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe running the boards behind the scene as well as always. Okay, it's Eclipse Day. Does anybody care? Is anybody getting excited? Are you looking? Are you watching? I didn't start caring until this morning. Literally did not care. Lizzie, I thought 2017 was very cool, but no matter where, for those people, I don't know, about 31 million people will be in the path that can see it. And allegedly we still are throughout the Midwest.
That's right.
I don't know. I got to get some glasses somehow then.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're out of glasses most places, but try Lowe's. Try Lowe's.
Oh man, if anybody knows of any glasses, legitimate glasses, let us know. Seriously, let us know if something's going on from that standpoint. What were you worried about with the Eclipse?
Well, I participated in the Eclipse. I owned a preschool back in the day in 2017. It was really fun to be out there with the staff and to do all that. But today, the hype is even bigger. But what's interesting is the hype is now, a lot of people acting like it's going to be the apocalypse.
I don't think it is.
I don't either. But I mean, people are like preparing for the world to end at 2:05.
Heather says, I don't care. I got to work. I need to pay the bills. I understand. Glenn says, yes, Lowe's. Check it out. Check out Lowe's. Maybe they still have them. Can't believe I was in Lowe's yesterday. And
you didn't get some
glasses. I didn't care.
But you got to make sure they're the correct glasses, because
how do you know what the correct glasses are?
Well, if you take the glasses and you look and they have like little numbers, what has to start with the letter A, something about the astronomical something or other. And if they don't, then your retinas are going to burn right out of your face. That's what they say.
Glenn says, I'm taking my son to Perryville for the event.
Yeah, apparently Perryville. Yeah, apparently that's like going to be almost 100%.
P-ville in the house today.
Yes.
A welding mask lens will work for you for the viewing. Okay, Jim, but who just has welding masks sitting around? Do you have a welding mask?
Jim does.
Do you? Okay.
No, I don't have.
I don't have a damn welding mask.
But if you're friends with Jim, maybe he'll let you borrow him. He's a good dude.
People are saying that they can't find glasses. Now I want them, because if you can't have it, you want it.
That's right. Whenever you can't have, it's almost always, if you can't have it now, you want it.
We're all doomed, according to Dark Helmet. Yeah. By the way, what were you concerned about? You're like, oh my God, this is going to have total darkness somewhere. Where'd you say?
Oh, I said an Eagle Pass. I said
Eagle Pass, Texas.
Yes, Eagle Pass, Texas is supposed to be dark for 9 minutes. And I'm like, the illegals know that.
Oh my God. Stop it.
Yeah.
For 9 minutes?
For 9 minutes. Supposedly 9 minutes. Could you imagine? That the apps that those illegal critters, they have it on their apps. And they're like, okay, right with the Eclipse, everybody's going to not be paying attention at all.
I almost spit out my water.
What?
Did you just say illegal critters?
Yeah, they're critters. They're like little bugs. And then they're going to come over in the darkness when everybody's paying attention to the Eclipse. Look at that. Look that up. Eagle Pass is going to be dark for 9 minutes.
You just said illegal critters.
Yeah, illegal critters. That's what they are, because they remind me of whoever comes. I can't go into Mexico illegally. They would call me worse than illegal critters.
Oh my God, that's funny. Kimberly says Jackson, Missouri as well. 100% is a great place to go. And then of course we're talking about Perryville. Not true. It's like 4 minutes.
Okay, well maybe. Okay, so then shave 5 minutes off.
Yeah, but 4 minutes of darkness in Eagle Pass is like an hour.
That's right. There are a lot of damage by those illegals can be coming across in 4 minutes.
Midnight Sun says welding mask lens shade levels of 14 plus. Those are suggested. Okay.
Well, maybe you can go to Lowe's and then buy a welding mask instead of the glasses.
Farm and Home has cheap welding glasses for $15, and welding glasses will do the same thing.
Yeah, there you go. Now you didn't know, because don't use those boxes. Now there are people, like when I was a kid, we looked at it through those boxes, and then they put this little black plastic on it, and now they're saying there's a lot of kids with retinas blown out of their face for using those boxes. So don't use those boxes. I told my daughter, I said, when you go to
the lenses will burn out of your face. There's illegal critters running around. Then what'd you just say?
Well, they'll burn out of your face. I mean, the retina in your face will burn out if you use those boxes.
Oh, that's great. Somebody says I have a nice spaghetti strainer ready. Yeah, that would be nice. Cockroaches laughing my ass off, scatter when the light comes on.
That's exactly right. So if you're an Eagle Pass, you're going to see them.
This is canceltheshow.com here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Catch all of our episodes on our website, plus our merchandise. Just going over some of the things that are happening with the Eclipse today, because once again, that'll be a national story as we continue to do that. Alex also says from the chat line, you can look through it via your phone camera. Stop it. Are you serious?
Wow.
I wouldn't mind doing that too.
Yeah, you could use. That's a good idea.
I'm just telling you. In 2017, I thought it was really cool.
I did too.
The whole thing.
I thought it was really cool.
And that's why I guess now I'm.
And now you're
Johnny come lately.
Yep, you don't have any glasses. So if anybody, you guys, if anybody has any of these glasses you'd like to give Vic, come on over and bring them, and then Vic will wear them on the show. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, NASA says 12 plus. You're okay. I guess those are the ratings that you need for the glasses. Just trying to talk about some real things that are happening. You're worried about the darkness too. Also, another stat. Did you want to give it or me when it comes to if you're out in the highway?
You can give it.
Okay, people, if you're going to be on the roads today, keep your eyes on the road. I repeat, if you're going to be on the highway today, you cannot stop, pull over, do whatever you need to do. Do not drive and be looking up.
That's right.
You can't rubberneck.
Mm-hmm.
Stats are showing, and this is from the Journal of American Medicine from JAMA, legitimate publication. In 2017, during the eclipse, road fatalities went up 31%.
That's crazy. When we were talking about before the show, I didn't know if it was because people's retinas got burned out or it's because they just weren't paying attention.
People were looking up and driving.
Yeah, I can believe that. Look at the accidents that happen because people are rubbernecking. So you know they're going to do that today.
So stop. And then here's another great perspective from the chat line. If you really think about this, guys, cancel this, listeners. Watching the eclipse, it kind of puts us in our place, just how small we really are. Something so much bigger than all of us. Ooh,
yeah.
That's almost chill factor for me.
Yeah, it is.
Think about that and everything that's happening. The creation that God has given us.
Mm-hmm.
Because all scientific evidence reminds us and points to us.
Yes.
By an overwhelming amount of intelligent design being so much more provable than us just happening. This big event just boom, happening out of nowhere. Things collided, boom. Oh, and now we have everything.
That's right.
When you break down the science behind it, that's why the science is on the side of intelligent design, not on the side of things just poof happening. So don't let anybody ever, well, Christians, you don't believe in science. Oh, actually we do, and it backs us 100%. When you break down life, when you break down our Earth's axis, when you break down everything in this world. So what a terrific point you bring up to remind people where we actually are from that standpoint.
I wonder if they heard the sermon I heard yesterday, which was exactly like that. At the Element Church, they were talking about intelligent design, and maybe you do not know God because you think there is no God, but they did the whole scientific breakdown of why you should think there's a God.
Yeah, not trying to change it into a sermon, but I think I've said it here before. Don't make that mistake, because guess who doesn't make that mistake of not believing there's a God? The devil.
The devil. That's right. The devil believes in God.
Alexander says, like how the sun is the same distance as it is bigger than the moon. Wow. Making them all look like the same size. That is not a coincidence. Great point as well. Terry says, yes, God talks about signs.
Yes.
From those skies and the earth.
Absolutely.
It's definitely one of those things that just makes you go, wow. Really, because we all live on this little tiny blue marble that's flat, by the way.
Yeah, right. That'll be interesting. I would think the flat earthers have to be flipping
I'm just having some fun on a Monday morning, April 8th. Yeah, you guys rock with our chat line. Yeah, we appreciate it.
They're great.
Todd reminds everybody that scientists say that time and space must have been created. Well, yeah, time, space, matter. I don't have time to get into all of that, but one can't exist without the other. And it's another reminder of how things are intelligently designed, not just by chance. And of course, the eclipse, for some person who jumped in today, reminds them just how small we are and how God's plan is a part of everything. Jim says Isaiah 51:4-6 says people will be looking in the right direction today. Good morning. You can jump in on the chat line here at canceltheshow.com. You can't use your phone camera without putting a proper filter on it. Okay. Now
that makes sense.
Okay, now we're starting to get educated. Alex.
That's right.
Our marketing man. Did you know about this? Because I don't want to be looking at the damn phone and the phone gets all burned out.
Right. Or your retinas get burned out.
And my eyes.
You can always get a new phone, but you can't get new retinas.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah. Might be expensive to get a new phone, but so I don't know. But I wonder how you get the filter or the film on your camera. I guess there's maybe an app you can download.
Man, you guys are all teaching us today.
They are. I didn't know about that. So you can take your phone and I guess download an app and you can look at it that way.
Yeah.
Although Alex, our marketing genius, did say in 2017, he did it via the phone, and Alex, his eyes haven't been burnt out. So maybe there is a way we need to look into that.
Yeah. Well, this coming from the AP now this morning, Dr. Fauci is telling everybody they need to wear a mask so you don't get CVID today. Okay.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Make sure you wear your mask today, because otherwise today is an exceptionally high day to get the vid.
Okay, everybody seems to have their own opinion, and of course, I know we have
I
people
love it.
chiming in from all over the country, but yeah, there's filters you can use on your phone.
That's good to know. It's because probably somebody wants to sell some glasses, and so there's probably some other way to do it.
Somebody else says you have to put your phone up to a telescope. What? I don't know.
I love all this. This is great.
And it's all, well, I guess you can show it live. Yes, of course. I mean, that means you can watch on TV. It's not the same thing though, because I still think back to 2017 I was sitting on a patio next to a pool. It was a nice day. And then it was warm because I remember sweating. And then all of a sudden it felt like air conditioning came on. And then I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. I had a weird feeling, but it was a good feeling. And I don't know how everybody else felt about that. I put a pair of regular polarized glasses in front of a phone camera. Okay. I don't know. We've gotten so many people responding, talking. I don't know what's right, what's not right. But people are jumping in on it.
And make sure people are saying, make sure you wear a mask. You have a blue tarp today. I mean,
for the blue roof.
Yeah, for the blue roof. So make sure you have all that out today.
Holy. Okay. Let's see. Pam says in the Troy area, the eclipse will start about 1:30 for a partial, and by 2:00 it will be 98%. Yes, the temperature. Somebody reminds me of what I thought. It went down 10 degrees.
It did. I did not know it was going to do that.
Yeah, and I went, oh,
wow, it got colder real fast, and it makes sense because you're not seeing the sun as it gets dark. But I mean, it was like almost flipping a switch that it dropped 10 degrees. It's really fun.
I don't know, to each their own. I think I did an eclipse shot at 2017 as well. Right as it happened. Have your fun, do whatever you want. To me, because it happened in 2017, this one isn't as big. But I remember me thinking, like 2017, I was making sure I had the glasses ready to go. Yeah. Everything was ready to rock and roll.
I think so too, because I thought it was a way bigger deal in 2017 than it is today. But other people are saying, oh my gosh, I don't remember it being this big of a deal. So,
oh no, 2017 had to be a bigger deal.
Yeah, I thought it was huge then. Like people were taking off of work and closing their businesses, and I'm not hearing that this time around.
Thousands of people now stating Missouri will have, another earthquake like the 1800s, the New Madrid fault. Yeah, I mean, I think people have been saying that for a while.
They have been.
The other situation from that standpoint is also we have. I know, Pam. We're trying to have some fun, but I get it. Fauci needs to go to prison for murdering of many Americans along with farmer execs. Agreed. I doubt bad, just the media talking about certain things. Great. I don't have earthquake insurance.
I don't either.
But can you? I don't even think you can buy it here. Can you?
You can, but you pay a premium for it.
Yeah. Same with flood insurance. I did so many stories on the news of people, their homes being flooded. Certain places you couldn't even get flood insurance.
Yeah. There's definitely places you can't get flood insurance. Heck, you can't get car insurance if you have a certain car in the city of St. Louis.
Yeah, we do know that. Traffic going south is heavy this morning. Maybe people going. I
think
don't know.
So. Well, I see people all over the internet going to Cape Girardeau. We heard people talking about going to Perryville. So I think it's going to be very crazy on these highways going south. So drive carefully.
Somebody out in that area said that earlier this year they had a small tremor. I don't know if any of that, I mean, an eclipse happens and of course everything gets associated with what could possibly happen. We don't know. We're just trying to get people's opinion when it comes to everything that's going on from the standpoint. What is anybody going? I mean, are there parties? I mean, we had somebody who said they were taking their son to freaking Perryville.
Yeah, that's fun. It's fun just going to Perryville anyway, because there's fun things to do there. But yeah, I don't personally know, but I know one person that they spent the night last night in Cape Girardeau, and they're having an eclipse party in Cape Girardeau.
You guys freaking rock. Earthquake insurance isn't that high at all in Missouri. It's like $150.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Mark Schmidt's wife can set that up for you. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's right. She could. That's good to know.
He is the father of Lieutenant Corporal Jared Schmitz, who was essentially murdered in Afghanistan when 13 of our service members were killed in the bomb. Troy Turner says, yep, earthquake insurance, only $250 per year. Had no idea.
Right. I thought it would. Well, I mean, when you figure, though, your insurance is already expensive and then you tack on another $250, but I'm sure it's worth it if you have an earthquake.
Elvis is not returning with the eclipse. I'm sorry.
Oh, I heard he was.
Elvis can only come back if Michael Jackson and Prince come with him.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. So I guess it's not going to happen then.
Yeah, somebody else heading down south to Farmington. Very interesting. People are actually getting in this.
How fun.
And down apparently New Madrid, the boot heel of Missouri, trimmers are felt all the time. Had no idea. The Eclipse does pass over the New Madrid fault line. Okay, thanks, Joe. Pro Joe. Are we supposed to have trimmers about that? Maybe?
People are saying that. People are saying we could have trimmers because it goes over the fault line. So you just be careful. It was nice knowing you, Vic. I hope to see you tomorrow, but it may not happen. Your entire place may fall in a sinkhole. Right at 12:05 or 2:05. Just think about it. That's what they're saying.
No, a lot of problems and issues would go away. I'm trying to find the positive, okay? That's new Vic.
That's right. The new Vic says, I don't care that our place falls in a sinkhole.
Well,
okay. And that your eyes are burnt out tomorrow.
Yep. And Carbondale's a little Jerusalem.
And Dark Helmet says, I don't see a little shadow causing an earthquake.
Yeah. So you guys can let us know everything that's happening today when it comes to the eclipse. Feel free to, if anybody comes across some glasses, you can let me know. If anybody's in the Chesterfield area, we'd be grateful. You can bring them in. We'd put you on. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you want to come to the strategic.
I've got so much work going on today. I'll go out by myself some. I just want to, it's like just so I can go out and look at it.
That's right. So if you want to bring Vic some, you can come in and talk to Vic on air.
Oh my God, Jim, from what I understand, he says the New Madrid fault line is the most active fault line in the United States.
That's what they say. Jim's right. They do say that. And then we forget about it and we don't even deal with the earthquake business. And then all of a sudden, these things do remind you that you might want to get.
Also from the chat line, a high school teacher of my daughter is taking the day off and traveling to Southern Illinois to see it 100%. It's still a neat event, but it's beyond me, people making such a big deal out of it. I agree.
Yeah.
But I did think it was cool in 2017. And for some reason, I woke up today and I want to be a part of it.
Right. Yeah. In 2017, I made a humongous deal out of it. And I'm not making quite as big of a deal out of it. But like you, like now I'm like, why didn't I make a big deal out of it?
Okay, Greg, I love this. Greg says, if you play Total Eclipse of the Heart 3 seconds after totality starts, it will play exactly and end at the end of the song. Okay, let me repeat this for you, for our viewers and listeners. If you play Total Eclipse of the Heart 3 seconds after totality starts, it will play exactly and end at the end of the song.
Okay, Grady, then you need to do that and videotape yourself and send it to us.
That's funny. Oh, Dawn with another. You people are
so
fantastic all over the country, specifically in Missouri too. We got ours free from our eye doctor's office.
Oh yeah, you could probably call your eye doctor today.
Oh,
that's good advice.
I've heard of major price gouging at hotels across the path. Of course they do.
Of course,
that's what hotels do. I hate it. There shouldn't be, but it's a supply and demand issue.
That's
so
right.
These are businesses. I hate it. But I don't think it's ever going to stop. Roland says Biden thinks it's going to be time for him to go to bed.
I think it is. He's not even going to know. Biden is going to have no idea. As long as they give him some ice cream and a microphone to just scream at us, it'll be fine.
Keep him away from the microphone.
Yeah, I think they want to keep him away from the microphone.
2017, 2024, Eclipse cross at New Madrid fault. Let me repeat that.
Say it again.
2017 and 2024 today, the Eclipse cross at New Madrid fault. So in 2017 it crossed and then it does again today. So but nothing happened in 2017, right? What are we missing from that standpoint? We appreciate you guys jumping in and letting us know, but I have no idea. We watched 2017 Eclipse from the top of the hill at Sugar Creek Winery.
Yeah, I heard that was great. The group of people that were there said it was fabulous.
No, it's a terrific place. My friend owns it. Shout out to Chris Lorch and crew.
Love that.
Hey, speaking of shout outs, I think at Liberty Lending, my friend Steve Swan, he and his wife, Carrie, did a fundraiser yesterday in the Connellville area for the woman who was hit by a drunk driver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's been released from the hospital, still had staples in her head, cognitive disability. I mean, just trying to enjoy herself, and a drunk driver swerved and hit her. So I want to give a shout out to them. You can learn more about them. Maybe we have to have them come on.
We should have them
Steve
come on.
and Carrie Swan taking care of business from that standpoint.
Absolutely.
Also, rather listen to Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, that is a good call.
A Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd, a good song to play during the eclipse. Oh, yeah, they intersect is what Glenn was talking about.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some big stuff going on. Big stuff. Our listeners.
How many eclipses have ever ended with a major earthquake? Zero that we know
Zero.
of in our lifetimes. A 2-night minimum stay in price gouging here in Cape Girardeau. Yeah. So we appreciate the people of Southern Missouri jumping in and letting us know the kind of price gouging that's happening. You can call them out if you want to. All good there. Dark Side of the Moon, of course, people talking about bringing that up. That's good. I introduced Chris and Lisa. I don't know what that means.
I'm guessing at the event, she probably stood up and introduced them. That's what I took from that.
Chris and no, Chris and Lisa, the owners of Sugar Creek Winery.
Oh,
that's what
okay. Meant. In 2017.
No, just in general.
Oh, just in general. Okay.
Well before 2017.
There you go.
But
introduce them as a couple.
Yes, as a couple.
Duh. Okay.
Take a minute to admire it and move on with your life. I love Jay, and I know Jay because Jay is always, or he considers himself to be the voice of reason, that nothing in life is that important. Nothing's that exciting. There's no conspiracy theories. Just live your life, enjoy it, and move on.
And Jay is right a lot of the time.
No,
I love Jay too.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Jay's always wrong.
No, I think he's right a lot of the time because we all get, not us necessarily, but as a general collective, we all get all in a hype. And at the end of it, nothing happened. So you should just enjoy your life. Now, if you want to get all up in an uproar about it, do it because if that's what makes you happy. But if not, just do your thing.
Chat's rocking with the eclipse day. That's why we stayed on it for the moment. I just want to, your comments continue to come. So we take the show where you want to go. We got so much to get to, and we will. We have plenty of time. No guests today. It's Vic and Lizzie and you guys. My next door neighbor lady never speaks to anyone. During 2017 eclipse, she spoke to me outside.
Well, see, that's huge.
An eclipse miracle.
That is an eclipse miracle.
God, give me a break. Also, Terry says, my neighbor, Wisconsin, is driving 6 hours to Indiana to see the eclipse for 3 to 4 minutes, then driving all the way 6 hours back home.
I can't say that I would do that.
If you have time and you can do it, and that's going to make you happy, more power
then
to
you should do it. Well, you know what? I just said I wouldn't.
Can I do that? Hell no.
But you know what? Think about it. That must be really important to her because I have been known to drive a far distance to watch one of our kids won 2 races that the culmination of it is like a minute.
Yeah, but those are your kids.
True, but maybe she's taking her kid to do that.
99% of your control worry about what you can control. You're in charge of your own life and happiness.
That is true.
Coming from Jay again.
That's right.
Yeah, makes sense. Delta has a special flight that flies around looking at it.
Could you imagine how much that flight would be? At least, hopefully it's not a Boeing. Because if it's a Boeing, I don't know that I'd get on that looking at the eclipse today.
Midnight says high tides do occur during both full and new moon. I did know that. So tidal stresses can happen naturally.
I can see that.
Also, Eddie and the Cruisers, The Dark Side. Yeah, there's another possibility for music you can play today if you're trying to look for a playlist. Speaking of playlist, we're going to give you a Donald Trump's playlist in just a little bit.
I love that.
Yeah, his playlist was released. He controls all the music at Mar-a-Lago, which I think is pretty damn freaking cool.
That's great.
Because he walks in, he senses a vibe, and then he plays.
What he wants to play. Yes. I heard, though, that the YMCA, how he plays that at his rallies and stuff, he did not pick that. One of his staffers picked it, but then he liked it from then on.
Derek Pratt, one of our members, says, guys,
Derek,
did you see that there was another cargo ship that lost power in New York?
He's absolutely right.
Who had cargo ships destroy bridges in 2024 on your bingo card?
That's right.
Derek, we appreciate you jumping in. That's what we do here at canceltheshow.com, here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. You can catch all of our shows as well. The Eclipse Miracle. So somebody said the Eclipse Miracle, it makes people happy. Okay, there you go.
Well, there you go. And that's worth it then. Thank you, God, for the eclipse.
We've heard about cicadas coming, even killer cicadas. That coming from the chat line as well.
The killer cicadas are coming across the border, Vic.
And of course, murder hornets.
Murder hornets.
The murder hornets versus the killer cicadas.
That's right.
All right. And finally, I was reading that you should get noise canceling headphones for when the cicadas come because of the decibels. What?
Well,
What?
and if they're too loud, I don't
No way.
I don't know if they're too loud in your municipality. Did you know you can only play music so loud to certain decibels? And if those cicadas get too loud, they might be kicked out of your neighborhood, Donna.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck kicking the cicadas out.
Mhm.
I wasn't in St. Louis the last time the cicadas hit this area really hard. I think it was before then.
It was a really cool sound. It was really loud for, I want to say, a week and a half or so, but it was kind of cool. And then it stopped.
The killer cicadas.
Killer cicadas.
All right. Do you guys remember the cicadas? I think lived in Florida at the time.
Yeah, I don't think the cicadas were in Florida.
No, they were here. He lived in Florida.
Yeah, and they were loud.
I was in Detroit, I believe. I don't think I was in the area, but whatever. Those things happen. Okay, this show is Vic. Read up on it. Hurt your ears. Okay.
Yeah, they are
All
loud.
right.
They're loud.
Critters, cicadas, same thing. That's a joke for Lizzie, I'm sure.
I'm sure it is.
Vic, it was bananas. The sound was deafening, that it was that loud. Come on. Okay.
It was so loud.
What year was this?
Gosh.
Is it over 10 years ago?
Yeah, I want to say it was over 10 years ago, and it was loud, and it didn't happen all day.
Where the hell is this show gone today?
But it was so loud. Gosh, I'd say it was a decade ago, probably.
Okay, the difference in the area is that there are two species that are emerging at the same time, which hasn't happened in 215 years. Okay, there's a lot of things that are going on. Not looking for controversy, conspiratorial issues, but my God, there's a lot going on.
There really is.
When you break down and do it. But then Jay would be quickly to say, next. Whatever.
He'd be like, next, just enjoy your life and stop getting up in an uproar.
13 years ago from the chat line. Maybe it was 13 years ago.
Okay, very good. I knew it was over 10.
2011-ish.
That seems about
2010-ish, 2011.
Yeah.
So it was really that bad, that loud.
It was so loud. It really was.
Was 10 plus years ago. Yes, very loud. And I wasn't here, so obviously I didn't remember it, but whatever. Yeah. Wear protective eyewear while looking at the cicadas.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Damn, my chat line is blowing up now.
I love it.
With yes, loud. Finally somebody says I can't remember. That's all right.
Well, it wasn't long. It wasn't a long time. It was like maybe a week and a half, and it was deafening.
So we went from the eclipse to cicadas to the New Madrid fault line, and all of this craziness happening.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Well, it's
the cicadas happened the same year at the Joplin tornado. I remember.
Oh, that's right.
I remember going back to St. Louis after being there for a week and helping the fire department. The cicadas were all over the damn place. Was driving down 270 with the AC on, and still it was deafening back in the 90s.
That's right.
Did people sleep through this stuff?
I think you got used to it. The only time you would not be able to sleep is if you were in a tent camping. Then that was so loud.
The creepiest thing was if you shook a tree loaded with cicadas, the amount that would fly out of the tree.
That's a true story.
So this is like a plague?
I don't know what it was.
Like
I don't even know why
plague
they got there. Kind
against
of
the
like
Egyptians?
But then they left. They left after like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
We saw the cicadas emerging around our oak tree, and it looked like something from a horror movie.
Yeah.
Midnight Sun says you might want to get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mary says that is gross.
Holy crap.
Gross.
We had a tornado too. I remember now. We had all kinds of critters after that. Ben says, my dogs love playing with the cicadas.
That's funny.
How do you, what do they just like fall around and you like swat them around? Or, I mean, my God,
they're like June bugs to me. They reminded me of June
bugs. The show is going all over the place. Here we go. Sarah says there's supposed to be 5 planets in alignment today as well. Check for the Devil's Comet as well tonight. We talked about the Devil's Comet also going on at the same time.
That's right. Thanks for the information.
Annette says dogs love cicadas crunch.
Yeah.
They were here in 2015.
Back then, there wasn't social media, wasn't as big, but I remember somebody showing me that the crunch of the cicadas, somebody put it in between crackers.
Okay, well, we're still in the topic because it still has life,
yes,
as far as I can imagine. Okay, we're also told that where the 2 eclipses cross, there will be a merger earthquake. That's biblical. This is what Pastor Brewer, which I was trying to have him on, Troy Brewer, I was trying to have him on Friday, couldn't make that happen, was part of his education on the matter, how he said it was biblical. Yes, Glenn, I've heard that. Where do they cross? They cross in that area in Missouri where we were just talking about.
Right.
That also happens to be the New Madrid fault line.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff going on.
Eclipse, cicadas, and earthquakes. Start collecting cicadas. You will eat bugs, Klaus says. Top BG, as in Mr. Gates, salad with crunch. Yep. Well, Derek says Glen Cross, where they cross, is a small town in Illinois. What is the name of the town? I would love to know that, Derek, since we appreciate you jumping on the show. I guess I'll be spending part of my summers indoors because of the cicadas. Donna says, we had some really fat squirrels the year that the cicadas were bad. The squirrels love eating them. Oh, smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Buffet time for squirrels.
Buffet squirrels and your dogs, apparently.
Yeah. Watch for the serpents a month later.
And Jay, okay, so now look at Jay. He's coming in saying cicadas make great top water fishing bait.
Oh, see, people trying to have that positivity.
There you go.
With all the stuff coming down. Do not plant young trees. They killed all of our young shrubbery that year. Holy crap. I never thought that freaking cicadas, earthquakes, and eclipses could generate so much interest.
Now, Todd changed the subject a little bit, but it's kind of big. Lee May and Lindbergh closed their schools because of protesters, Palestinian protesters. I don't know if that's today or what.
I have no idea. We're also told that cicadas, you guys are something else. They attract copperheads. Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
Doesn't the Illinois town where the crossing have a biblical name? Okay, you got. I need to know this now. The name of the Illinois town, if it is biblical, because then we'll add it and then we'll see what else happens. And we'll keep our scorecard on this entire subject of what could be happening. I mean, my God, it's still coming. It's all the end. Bring on the alien mothership, because here we go.
Here we go.
These little critters come out once every 17 years and then they go back into the ground. But he says, what schools? That was Lindbergh, I believe. What else? Or it was the Lindbergh and Lee May Ferry, not schools. Maybe roads were shut down.
I don't know.
Because of Palestinian protesters.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe it wasn't schools. Maybe it was roads.
Maybe cicadas aren't such a bad new problem. Yeah, the protest was out in front of the county mall yesterday. Yeah, people are doing that. Okay. Thank you, Linda. Linda says, we lived near Galatia, Illinois, or is it Egypt? Egypt, Illinois? I do think there is an Egypt, Illinois.
There is an Egypt, Illinois. It has a big lake in it. And it's really pretty.
Is it Lake Egypt?
Lake Egypt.
In Illinois.
In Illinois.
How about that? That is a very interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is cancelthisshow.com. Carbondale is known as Little Egypt. Never heard that before. That's where the campus of Southern Illinois University is, for people who may not know. Okay. Wow. This is the fastest 2 hours in podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
We've almost gone an hour.
Well, it's because our listeners are driving the show. Right
Yeah,
now.
you guys are, and we appreciate it. We continue to try to follow what you guys want. I just need some glasses. Nobody's come by here with any glasses.
Yeah,
yet.
I mean, please, somebody come by here with glasses. You know where
Maconda,
we're located. Bring them some glasses.
Thank you. Maconda, Illinois. It is just south of Carbondale. Maconda.
Maconda. Okay. Very good. It rhymes with Wakanda.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Wakanda.
Well, Wakanda, Illinois. Oh, I mean, Maconda, Illinois.
Okay. I don't know. You guys go to work. You let us know what's happening from that standpoint. Joe, by the way, I sent you Donald Trump's playlist. If you could pull up those pictures when you get a chance, let me know from that standpoint. Gas stations all have them, according to Jeannie.
Okay.
But are they the legitimate glasses?
Right. Because they have to have a legitimate.
Oh my God. Here we go. This is kind of turned into a conspiracy theory Friday, but I like it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Allegedly, Southern Illinois' mascot, it's a Saluki.
Right.
You know, it's a skinny dog.
Yes.
You can look it up. Very sleek.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the Royal Egyptian dog. Are we stretching?
No, that makes sense though. Maybe somebody planned it.
Why are they the Salukis, the Royal Egyptian dog?
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's all by Little Egypt, Illinois.
I'm not even going to address carpenter bees.
Oh yeah, carpenter bees.
God knows that'll take us into a whole nother direction.
That's right.
Y'all got me tripping. I'm sitting at my back desk at home with the back door open, and I'm continuing to have a shit ton of black birds cawing. I think birds have been a lot louder in the morning recently too.
Yeah. I wonder if they know, because they say our pets are going to be affected for that 4 or 5 minutes when this is going on.
Okay, let's move. Here we go, guys. Got some Donald Trump news to get to. We'll continue to talk Eclipse. If you guys have those comments, we'll try to keep track of that. Nineveh is the town name that the eclipse passes through in several states. Okay, now I just got the chill factor. We'll have to get back to Nineveh. If anybody else has that, please let. Nineveh is a town that several towns are going to be passed through with the eclipse.
Wow.
Damn. Okay. All right. I got you. Little Egypt. That's correct. It's fun to talk about, at least. I mean, what's happening in Southern Illinois, where the eclipse goes. 7 cities named Nineveh will be visited by the eclipse. Okay. Can somebody get back to Nineveh and remind me what Nineveh means or how that's scriptural? Very interesting.
Look at Todd.
What did he say?
He says Carbondale is a very satanic area.
Why is okay? How do we know that? What's going on? I mean, it's a fun show to do today so far.
It really is.
Nineveh is where Little Jerusalem name comes from. It is very interesting. Nineveh, Indiana. Somebody checking in from Nineveh, letting us know what's going to be happening with that today. At the worst case scenario, this is entertaining. Best case scenario, you learn something.
That's right.
Also interesting to see what's happening when it's on a fault line. Does something else happen? Is it a sign from above? We talk about Isaiah, people jumping in with Isaiah verses on Friday when we were doing the show as well. I don't know. It's fun to talk about, at least.
Yes, it is fun because it doesn't happen that
and
often.
What's going to be playing with everything, but
I love it.
I know. I'm excited about it. That's for sure. Now
he's excited enough that, for the love of God, somebody bring him some glasses.
Yeah, that may be difficult. How much do glasses cost, by the way?
$4. Most of them are $4, is what people were telling me.
Assyrian scriptures reading as I'm writing. Sorry. Assyrian scriptures what? Yes, Dawn, this is turned into a continuation from Friday, which is fascinating.
It really kind of is, Dawn. Yeah. It wasn't even our intent.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
No, but our listeners are so intriguing this morning that we just can't get off the topic.
There's a book named Murder in Little Egypt. I saw that post about Nineveh. The book is about an El Dorado doctor who murdered 2 sons. Oh, interesting. Okay, more and more. That was the city. Correct. That was the city where Jonah was supposed to be, but he disobeyed God. Nineveh. And then the eclipse is passing through 7 towns named Nineveh. Okay. Thanks, Donna, for passing the code through. I'll have to copy and paste
the glasses code.
It's always off the chain with the notorious VIC in the STL.
That's right.
Okay. I like that. Jonah preached at Nineveh after being swallowed by the fish. Yeah, I know. The book has nothing to do with Nineveh. I probably could have done a better job of saying that. I just thought it was very interesting. Wonder where Eric is going to be watching from today from the chat line. Who knows?
On his boat.
Yeah.
He'll be on his boat in the middle of his lake. That's where
he has a boat?
He does. He has a pontoon boat.
Oh, a pontoon.
He has a pontoon boat.
All right.
You know, back in the day, I would never have seen Eric Johnson with a pontoon boat. Maybe a speedboat or a jet ski, but here he is.
Yeah,
in his 50s with a pontoon
he joins
boat.
us on Fridays for people who don't know who Eric Johnson is. Okay, we'll continue that chat line comments. We appreciate it, guys. This is really good stuff. Damn good stuff. I want to get into some other issues, some topics. I thought it was fun. I mean, we'll see where the vibe of the show goes. I thought this was pretty damn cool. Donald Trump controls all the music from Mar-a-Lago, and he insists upon having artists who are very recognized so that people hear songs that they like. Oh my God. You guys continue to bring up fantastic.
I love it.
Okay. I'll say it one more time. Terry says there are all kinds of posts and videos about biblical. Have Pro Joe look. They are also saying it's a 3-day issue because Jonah was in the whale for 3 days.
That's what they're saying.
Nineveh was so wicked that God sent Jonah to tell them to repent. Yeah, we see it. Pro Joe, you can do whatever you want with that. Whatever you think looks the best on the screen. Okay, so Donald Trump, here it is. Here's his playlist that he plays at Mar-a-Lago. And pretty cool that he does this. And he also dictates the level of how loud it's going to be. He listens, he comes down, he talks to people at nighttime when he's at home, and then he decides what music's going to play and then what level it's going to play. So we'll show you the playlist here and then we'll talk about it. You may be able to see it, you may not be able to see it, but I can at least tell you what the playlist is. Okay. When it comes to the playlist, Nothing Compares to You from Sinead O'Connor. God bless her soul.
Mm-hmm.
Enter Sandman. Yeah, Donald Trump, I'm loving it, baby. Enter Sandman. The second song on the list, Losing My Religion from REM.
That's interesting. REM. Okay.
Funeral for a Friend. Love Lies Bleeding, Elton John. Then he all of a sudden mixes it up with his number 5. The Phantom of the Opera. So these are songs that are playing at Mar-a-Lago. Superstar with Murray Head, Andrew Lloyd Webber. How about that? Tim Rice and crew. Suspicious Minds, Elvis Presley.
Mm-hmm.
This one got me.
The Elvis Presley one?
No, the next one. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Is it me you're looking for? Lionel Richie coming in, making Donald Trump.
I can see him liking that song.
Why?
Just because it was so popular back in the day when maybe he was a little bit younger. And I think he was kind of friendly back in the day with Lionel Richie.
All right. November Rain. Love the song coming in from Guns N' Roses. And of course, It's a Man's World. James Brown, Betty Newsom. Gotta love that. Luciano Pavarotti.
Wow, what a playlist.
And of course, the typical New Yorker song, My Way.
Of course.
I Did It My Way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a really eclectic.
And then his final 2 songs, I love this. Love this. Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash, and 13. His 13th song on his playlist, You Can't Always Get What You Want, the Rolling Stones.
That's great.
Pretty damn cool.
I noticed that he didn't pick anything real new. I guess he doesn't like the new.
Well, he wanted big names.
Yes.
And songs that are popular. That's his whole key that almost everybody at least can associate with. Maybe it's a business standpoint.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be.
But I can tell you this. I don't like all those songs. I mean, if I hear them, it's not going to make me go, oh, I really like the song. But at least I'm going to recognize the song.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I don't love all of them either, but there's several of them I like a lot.
Tammy says, love, 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 November Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Trump. How is American Badass by Kid Rock not on there? Yeah, it should be. And maybe he can crack the top 13.
That's right.
American Badass should be on there. Especially one of the coolest things I've ever seen with a president was Donald Trump walking out at a UFC event with Kid Rock, Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump, and Dana White to American Badass.
Yeah. That was really cool. That was a cool moment. One of the neatest ones.
Yeah. No, I repeat. What's in our intro? Somebody said it's in our intro. I don't even know what you said. Anyway, let me know if it is. No Lee Greenwood. I like most of that playlist. I'd subtract a few though. November Rain Player so much. I hated it for such a long time. Chat's coming in. But Donald Trump's controlling all of that. Okay, I have all those songs.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guys' favorite?
Yeah, tell us.
What's yours, Lizzie? Out of that entire...
Probably...
If you were going to listen to one of those songs over and over and over again.
I wouldn't listen to any of them, I don't think, over and over and over, but probably the Rolling Stones song.
Can't Always Get What You Want.
Yeah.
Okay. I will go with what is number 2 on his list. Enter Sandman, Metallica.
Okay. Yeah, I like that one too. But yeah, so you would pick the Metallica one and I'd pick the Rolling Stones one. What do you listeners think?
I'm also disappointed that he doesn't have Rolling Stones. You Can't Always Get What You Want. Wait.
Well, he does.
He does have that on.
That's number
list.
12 or 13. Right?
Yeah. That was down there.
Yeah.
I Don't Need No Rocking Chair by George Jones and Friends, or Baby Come Back Before You Kill Us. All Randy Travis. It should be done there. Anyway, from that list, it was that list. I was curious what people liked. If you wanted to chime in with that, of course, we do our best to let you know from that standpoint. There is big news as well with Trump today regarding what we were just talking about with Donald Trump and his playlist, which I thought was cool, coming out of the fun aspect of what we were talking about today. Yeah, somebody else agreed with me with Enter Sandman. Of course, Troy showing his age with Elvis. I guess that doesn't. Okay, now people are giving songs that they would love him to play, not the ones that he already has that you like the most. Okay. Donald Trump also over the weekend, Palm Beach, Florida, he raised $50.5 million in his campaign. That is $50.5 million. There's so much hype surrounding him. By the way, polling also showed him going up 8 percentage points now over Joe Biden across the country. At the end of last week, we showed you that he was up in 6, I believe it was 6 of 7 states or 5 of 6 swing states. And the other one he was tied, that state being the very liberal Wisconsin. But conservatives in Wisconsin are like, hey, now, Vic, we're trying to change the way things have been done around here. My God, this song list. Red Solo Cup should have been on his list from Glenn. Yeah, we get it.
I agree too, but he doesn't even drink. So maybe that's why he doesn't like it.
November Rain getting a lot of hype. 99 Problems, Jay-Z. Okay. People are talking about the songs that they want on his list, or Donald should be playing, of course.
Right.
The Donald's going to do what the Donald wants to do. We know that, and that's his list that he has so far. Also, I find it interesting that when we bring up some of those songs, God Country, Blake Shelton.
Yeah. God's Country, that song. He should have that on there, but I've never heard him say he likes Blake Shelton.
Yeah. Donald Trump also making big news today as well, guys. He came out this morning regarding the abortion issue. We've talked extensively about this when it comes to abortion. When it comes to polling, it's the only thing across America, at least for the people who are surveyed, where Republicans don't necessarily, they don't poll favorably when it comes to that whole issue. And he knows it. He's trying to get out ahead of it. He's trying to see what he could possibly do. Yes, Glenn, 3 presidents in New York City only raised half that amount. That is correct. I'm not a big believer. I mean, it shows the support for Donald Trump and who's there for him. But at the same point in time, when you're talking about that kind of money that both candidates have, I don't really think one is going to be better than the other. I don't think it matters, especially at this. Maybe if you're a name that isn't as known as Donald Trump, I got a feeling Donald Trump could have zero money and still be fine.
I think so too.
When it comes to the campaign.
I agree.
But he came out on this abortion issue, and here's what he did. He didn't give a specific time of when an abortion should happen or not. All he said today, and he came out on Truth Social, interesting, early on a Monday morning, kind of setting the tone for the day and the week, talking about this should go to the states. Following Roe v. Wade, this needs to be a state issue. Each state is going to decide what they want to do. Now, I think it's fascinating, and I think it's remarkable, regardless if you're pro-life or pro-choice, because Trump is now, in my humble opinion, he's deflected it off of him, and he threw it to each state. It deflects off the president, and now it goes to the governor, and it goes to people in those states. I don't know what people think about that. Where you go, if you're pro-life, does this help? Does this help with polling? Does it help from a voting standpoint? And even if you're putting this out there now, will mainstream media cover it in a way that would make somebody who is basically, well, that's the only issue I care about, would it really make them change to a Donald Trump?
I thought that was very strategic and good. He won't make everybody happy on that, but if he makes the stance even more pro-life about no matter what, you can't have abortions whatsoever, it galvanizes the Democrat base to keep talking about it, because that's the only issue they have. And really the best constitutional issue is to have it go back to the states. So if you want somebody that follows the letter of the law and gives people the freedom that they want, if you're very pro-life, you probably don't agree with that. That being said, I'm very pro-life, but if I was the president, I wouldn't do anything different than him. Have it go back to the states. Have it go. That's the best thing he could possibly do.
I love the issue. If you're going to stick with politics as they are, if you're going to have this from a political conversation, yes, less government. Roe v. Wade has already done this anyway.
Right. We already have it overturned. So I think it needs to be left alone. And that's basically what he's saying, Vic, is just leave it alone. It's already back at the states. Leave it there.
Paul says if Trump loses, it's going to be because of the messaging on abortion.
He's not wrong.
The RNC to this point in time has had terrible messaging. Just look at the elections in 2022 and 2023. I still think illegal voting is the biggest issue.
The biggest
the
problem.
RNC should be worried about, but I get your point. No doubt about it. Glenn Thompson said also from the rally over the weekend where he raised $50.5 million by himself, where 3 presidents couldn't even come up with half that in New York City with their elite people. Glenn reminds everybody at Trump's rally over the weekend, a girl asked him, quote, "Shouldn't I decide what's right for my own body?" Trump responded, "I'm pro-life."
That's beautiful. That's the best thing he could have done. He's saying, I'm pro-life. He didn't say, you need to be pro-life. He's doing exactly what needs to be done. I don't know what else he could do. It's back at the States, but he says, I'm pro-life. And you know what? For people who don't know this, he, back in the day, didn't care about this one way or the other. So he would have been considered pro-choice. But about what now, 15, 16, 17 years ago, he became a Christian. And at that point, his view changed to being pro-life.
Well, yeah, it is there. By the way, we're still getting updates from people regarding what's happening with the Eclipse. Linda says, "Hey, I picked up some glasses Friday at the Roxana Library. Granite City was out several days earlier. I hear some still have them for 2:00 in Edwardsville. This is in Illinois, but they might be sold out." Appreciate the updates. Yeah, those things can happen. Trump should do what the so-called conservatives do, say anything to get elected and then do something completely different. Yeah, I get your tongue-in-cheek fun comment.
I get that.
Todd also says, man, I see all these days is illegals, and he drives all over the place. He's a trucker. I'm starting to get a bad attitude towards them, and I try not to. What do I do?
I'm with him on that because I'm seeing them more everywhere I go. And as a human, I don't want to be mean, but I do get a visceral reaction when I see them there. Like, I don't say anything to him, but I understand where he's saying, because there's a confliction there that we should not even be dealing with. They should not have been able to come across the border illegally. And now they're here. What do you do about it? Do you be rude? Do you be mean?
No, never be rude, never be mean, but you have to do whatever it is to protect yourself. And get
that's the best.
And there is nothing wrong with doing whatever you can to try to have them removed from this country.
Yourself.
There's nothing wrong with saying that illegals should not be here in an illegal way. And this is what the media has done and crying heart liberals when it comes to that. There is nothing wrong. There's something wrong if you don't say something.
Yeah. We have to get him out of here.
That's the issue. And only illegal from a standpoint of how it affects our country, from a standpoint of finances and safety, because law and order is set up for a reason. So the people come in the right way. And what about the respect for people who've done it the right way?
That is so sad. They did all this hard work.
Ben says, I heard Winty's has Eclipse beer goggles. Okay, that might work for you. We'll see where that goes.
You could get beer goggles.
When it comes to the abortion issue, interesting for Megan. She says, I always say that abortion should not have a place on a political pulpit. It shouldn't. But guess who started doing this? It was the left.
It was the
left brought this mainstream.
Correct.
Because there's too many variables on the topic. You're 100% right, Megan. 100% right. There are some strict variables that happen over and over and over again that complicate the issue. It should not be a political issue. I am 100% when it comes to that. Alex says only 7 likes on the video. Let's keep it going. I know we have tons of people that listen to us live across a bunch of platforms. Of course, as you know, we're on X, we're on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, we're on Cloud Hub. Those are all the live viewing platforms that you have right now. Greg says he thinks he knows what Biden's playlist includes. Crash by Dave Matthews.
I'm sure.
Or Falling for You.
Falling for You. Absolutely falling for you.
Okay. Yeah. Got Eclipse shot glasses. There you go. Or they're asking if you have those over at Winty's.
I bet you Ben will get you some.
He might be able to get you some of those as well. So Trump was kicking ass in Florida over the weekend with a lot of money, bringing a lot of money in. And this is an issue that we have talked about as well. Your government, the United States government, flying illegals from other countries. They didn't run across a border as little critters, as Lizzie refers to them. They were actually flown with your tax dollars.
Yes.
Once again, how a Democrat could ever look themselves into the mirror and say, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden when they know that our government with our tax dollars flying illegals from other countries, Honduras, Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua, or all these places coming, they're flying illegals into America, flying them into America. Let that resonate. Let that flow through your brain right now.
That's infuriating.
326,000 flown into, guess where? Florida. Flown into Florida without DeSantis or any government officials being told about it. They found out through the grapevine once they arrived. And then they're forced to deal with the issue. It is not legal. This should not be happening. But of course, if mainstream media is not talking about it or refuses to talk about it, it's left to people like us, which is why we're always saying, hey, we want to do what we can do to try to get the word out as best as we can. That's why we're like, hey, if you love us, you like us, donations are great. If there's advertisers who want to advertise with us, the people who do advertise with us love it. Flying them into Florida. At the same point in time, Florida, and this doesn't, this makes sense. Florida has now surged just in the last 8 to 9 years, now has 900,000 more Republicans signed up for the GOP than the Democrats do. This was once a battleground state, a purple state, if you will, red and blue, blue and red, back and forth. And now it has become a stronghold for the Republicans, 900,000 more registered voters. Why the hell do you think they're flying illegals into Florida?
It's so obvious why they're doing it.
Ron DeSantis, the governor, the good governor of Florida, the capable governor of Florida, did an interview yesterday morning with Maria Bartoloma. Here's this interview with Ron DeSantis talking about what's happening in Florida and what they're trying to do when it comes to this whole situation.
The president was sending 326,000 illegals into Miami.
No, and they don't give us any notification on any of that. Now, we are a border state. We're a maritime border state. And so we've taken a lot of action to beef up maritime assets to help the Coast Guard interdict these vessels that are coming in. And since January of 2023, because of Florida state vessels, we've interdicted and led to the repatriation of 14,000 illegal aliens. And so that's kind of been our focus. What Biden is doing under this program, it's not constitutional, but he is legalizing people when they're in foreign countries and then buying them plane tickets and then flying into the United States. And so you could have a plane that lands in Miami with 200 people on it, and there may be 8 or 10 of these folks that he's illegally legalized. So we are suing him on that with other states. We don't think it's lawful. We don't think it's constitutional. But, you know, we need the Congress to step up and defund this program. It's an illegal program. He does not have the authority to just legalize people in foreign lands. I will tell you this, Maria, though, because those numbers were surprising to us because we didn't have any notice, but we haven't seen on the ground evidence that that many people are actually setting up shop in Florida. So I think what's happened, Miami has served as the gateway to get people in from those countries. And then I think they're going all across the United States of America. You know, of course, in Florida, we're not a sanctuary state. And so you go to New York, you get money. You go to California, you get benefits. In Florida, you don't get a driver's license. You don't get an ID card. We don't even let NGOs issue.
Yeah. Loved hearing it from Ron DeSantis. Bring in what he needs to bring in. That's how you handle it in a state. You take freaking initiative, which is what Ron DeSantis has done. He's a terrific governor, and I'm grateful for him coming out and doing everything that he possibly can. Definitely a challenge for him, no doubt about that. Todd says good. Yeah, 100%. Ron DeSantis doing what Ron DeSantis does best.
Thank God he's still in Florida.
And every governor needs to take an approach like this. And it's not just taking an approach. You still see Republican governors afraid to speak out on the issue. I do. I don't know if you guys do, where it's like, well, we're already doing what we need to do. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to say anything. Yes, you do. Your verbal messaging sends a message. And I think too many Republican governors are like, well, you know, we're already doing it. There's no need to talk about it because they feel as if, or their consultants have told them they don't need to be as loud. And that goes for being senators as well. Over and over and over again, it needs to be talked about, which is why we're grateful for the governors that do that, and grateful that Ron DeSantis is willing to come out and talk about what's happening. And we all know why it's pretty clear the Democrats needed a new recruiting base.
That's
They
right.
need a new voting base because their message is going bad. And even with the young kids, it's going bad. 18 to 35, you see that they don't want Joe Biden. Maybe there's a new Democrat that could be brought in that would turn 18 to 35-year-olds. But right now, they like Trump more than they do Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, which is different than what it was with the midterms.
That's right.
Because the midterms at 18 to 35-year-old in every state went Democrat, at least those that voted in those races. So it's Joe Biden that they don't want. Those are the issues. Those are the problems. So great job, Ron DeSantis, in doing what you're trying to do. But we also see a lot of hate around the country too. If you are supporting issues that go with Donald Trump, if you are supporting anything, and we do have a sad story that we have to post, and it frustrates the hell out of me because of these things happening. But there's a super Trump supporter. Fox News did an interview with him about a year ago, and he's been on in years past. A 64-year-old man. He's a Jersey man. Just watch this video. He's fighting for his life now because he was attacked when he was just standing at a place trying to get his RV fixed. I think it was a tire shop. Anyway, this man, Fox did a profile on him, and now people who don't like him because he dared put Trump support out there, he was attacked with a sledgehammer. We'll show you this video of just who the guy is and what he was doing and why he was attacked.
I do my 100% support. I've been traveling all over the country. And the supporters all around us, it must be 30 or 40,000 people here. 5 years ago, the house I lived in burnt down. I was homeless. And I was in Billings, Montana, and there was a Green Beret Navy SEAL. His name was Robbie Robinson. He helped me get my first RV. He helped me financially. He said, I want you to be big and bold. So I've been big and bold across the United States. And my brother Scott won, and we want to put these all over America. It's a great way to get the message out there. We can help veterans, the homeless. It's a great idea if you want to support your president. But it's a freedom of speech at this point. When someone tells me to go F myself or get out of my neighborhood, I say I love you because I was there. We kill them with kindness. We're trying to educate at this point. I'm hoping I can get to Miami for the Super Bowl. I'm trying to get to Iowa next. The vehicle's currently not working properly. We got a mechanic working on it right now. And then hopefully we get out to the New Hampshire rally. Well, God bless Donald Trump. 100% in.
That's Rocky Grenada, 64-year-old grandpa. He was brutally attacked with a hammer, sledgehammer type of deal. This happened at the end of last week. Thanks to the Gateway Pundit for doing the story on him. So he was witnesses at the scene who were able to help subdue the guy who hit him. His name is Michael Gonzalez, who attacked him. He's been charged with attempted murder. They said that Rocky sustained significant head injuries.
The vitriol and the venom that people have these days because they don't like Donald Trump or whoever is that they don't like.
All he was doing, he was at a Crown Tire, just standing.
That's
there.
it, wasn't he? Just standing there.
Standing there because he had that Trump RV.
Yeah. And he didn't even know the guy beforehand.
No, he was just driving. He was just standing there. He was having some things taken care of with his RV, with his vehicle, and he got attacked with a sledgehammer. So you hope that the full letter of the law is thrown at this Michael Gonzalez who went after him. I'm curious if people do you worry if you go out in public with Trump gear on?
I don't, but I probably should. I mean, I go out with Trump gear quite a bit and have a big Trump sign in my front yard or a flag still. No one has ever been rude to me. I get some dirty looks, but that's it. But now it does make you think, wow, these people are so unhinged. You could just be standing in the store and have somebody come up and beat you to death.
From the chat line, libs are so intolerant of opposing views. It's so difficult for liberals to hear a conservative view without getting irate and or frustrated and or trying to do something about it, which frustrates people. They don't understand why this is happening. subhuman behavior. Yeah. Too bad they don't allow the constitutional carry. I have no idea if this person was illegal or not. We just know that some people who were there were able to grab this 36-year-old who was from Philadelphia. So he's been charged with murder, and he should be. Thank God witnesses at the scene were able to detain him until police got there. Now you just hope that Gonzalez is going to be all right after getting hit in the head with a hand sledgehammer.
Yes.
The Gateway Pundit bringing that story full. And that's what we try to do. Make sure you know about these stories because by God, you know, you're not going to hear about this on national news.
No, you're not.
And
of course you're not.
You may not even hear about it on local news, which is a problem because it is the Trump issue. That's why you just got to continue to fight the good fight. Matthew says, I'm not doing signs or bumper stickers this time around. MAGA hat stays at home too. He's like, there's too many loons out there. That's interesting.
And that is sad. And Matthew was one of those people like myself that we were loud and proud with wearing our gear. But the problem is now is if by wearing it, people now know whether you're going to vote for Trump or not. And I'm kind of with Matthew. I wouldn't be as bold to wear this stuff around. Now, I'm saying it here, but there are so many loons. I mean, they're crazy and they're everywhere. They're everywhere. It's not just in Democrat cities. These people come over into conservative cities and do these things too.
Midnight says, people, we have reached the FAFO level.
We have.
Chris says, in Philly, you know as well as I do, they never let it out if the guy that assaulted him was an illegal or not.
That's exactly true.
Of course. And Glenn reminds everybody the attacker probably had his coexist bumper stickers as well. Statistics show that people who fly the flag are more likely to get their homes broken into or vandalized.
She's right.
That's just the American flag, not even going to Donald Trump. We do live in the United States of America.
That's right. That's right. And so many people, and that's really sad that we live in the freest country, which we know that is not even the case anymore, that we can't even fly the American flag without somebody feeling some sort of way about it.
People still chiming in on the chat line. Yes. Feeling uncomfortable about even flying the American flag, which is just sad, sad, sad. Should not even be in that state, but those are some of the things that we're dealing right now. So prayers go out to Rocky Granado, the grandpa attacked because he's trying to support Donald Trump with his RV. And guess what? That is his First Amendment right to drive around in an RV all trumped up and not be attacked by somebody else.
Correct. But that is what's happening these days. I know people that you can't even go into certain cities. And if you do have like a Trump sticker or something like that, even a pro-life sticker, you're probably going to have your car keyed. So, I mean, that's just sad. It really is.
Yeah.
You're seeing less and less of people putting.
Matthew says, I am flying the flag though. Thankfully, my neighbors are doing the same thing. This makes everyone next time, whether or not they show their support for Trump, people are still supporting him. We know that. The neighbors do as well. There's more power in numbers. We do know that.
I agree.
David says, I will proudly wear my MAGA gear, my American flag, and my constitutional carry. Amen. Yep. Couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, that will not scare my husband whatsoever. He will wear a Trump shirt, wear a Trump flag. He'll even wear a flag. He'll have it on his car.
Cindy says, we fly the American and the Marine flag proudly at our house.
Amen.
And why not? When you see an American flag, a good, clean, crisp American flag.
There's nothing better.
There's
nothing better.
It's top notch. A damned blue line flag will get your vehicle a target. That's also coming there. Megan says, my kids hate when I wear my Trump hat to their games. Why? I may get a little bit of this, Megan, too, but my freshman son, who is hardcore Trump, freshman college, he even said, he's like, does everything have to be political with you, Dad? And I'm like, when's the last time I tried to say something to you about politics? I don't. He's like, yeah, but I heard some of your comments. And I'm like, no, I'm just telling you what's behind the scene. Now, granted, his girlfriend is a hardcore liberal. I'm praying for her.
Yeah, you really do need to pray for her.
She comes from an amazing family, and they're amazing to him, and they're amazing to me. But it's the social issues.
It isn't that sad.
It's just a couple social issues, which is why. But guess what? They all despise Biden. They all say there's no way they would vote for Biden.
Correct.
So why not fly your American flag? My God, it is America.
Absolutely. Keep your American flags flying.
But it is interesting.
Street where a lot of
Megan's sons do not want her wearing a Trump hat.
I've never had one of my kids not ask me to wear the hat, and I do have a hat, and I do have shirts, and not one of my kids have asked me not to yet, but they will say something similar to what your son said to you is, "Mom, do you always have to be political?" Almost all my kids say that to me, and they'll be like, "Just go and just wear a regular shirt or whatever." But once I have it on, they don't say a word to me about it. Well, I guess they probably don't want a 45-minute little dissertation.
But see, that's interesting though, because we're told from our chat line too, they preach tolerance, but only want tolerance for their view.
That's exactly right.
Megan says, everyone looks and they don't like it. What? Everyone looks at your Trump hat and doesn't like it at your son's school? You don't have to say what school it is. I would never discuss it though at a game, but it's obvious where I stand and proud, and you need to be you.
I agree. You need to be you. I don't know that too many people would look at me weird at my kid's school, because I think almost everybody there is a Trump lover. But yeah. And the dirty looks is on you. Although, you know what? I don't know that I'd give him a dirty look. If somebody came up with an Obama or a Biden hat, my face would probably do something.
She says her kids don't like other people looking at her and they see like evil looks. But guess what? If you look at polling, there's not too many people are going to give you evil looks.
That's right.
More people favor Trump than Biden, and it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close.
Yeah.
It may just be a few. Again, it's the loud squeaky wheel gets the oil, and it's a few people that may start the trouble. Wear it proud. And I'm glad, and hopefully your kids can understand that. I do know that younger people don't want controversy. I get it. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants controversy, but younger people don't understand what's at play either.
They don't even understand it at all, because many of us parents have shielded them from all of the bad things going on. So they don't even know.
We're reminded from the chat line. Glenn says, people used to get triggered by my red Trump 2020 mask during COVID. Yeah, but I also think, Glenn, you gave me the best mask ever. And I wore it once in the newsroom, and somebody looked at me like it was an angry look. So I didn't wear it again. It said, I'm trying to remember, it said, this mask does not help. And it was on the front
I
of it.
love it. I love it.
And I think I got that from Glenn. It was black with white lettering.
That's a perfect.
I got to find out where. I think I burned it. I don't know. I threw it in a fire.
I don't know. My kid, when she had to wear a mask for only a couple of weeks at school, she wore a Trump mask to her school.
Hell yeah.
She sure did.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
What do we got here? Chicken sheets in the rain. Courage birthed our great nation, and belief in certain values, freedom. Jeannie thinks these kids are all socialists now. They're not. Jeannie, I promise you. I don't know if you have kids. They're really not. They're not socialists. There are some that are, but I'm around a lot of high school kids. I have a junior in college, a freshman in college, and I have a sophomore in high school. And I'm still around kids, and I have been. They're not all socialists. They're not. They just need a little help and guidance. And I'm telling you, most of the kids that I see and hang around with, or my kids hang around with, get it. They do. They get it. They get it. And I know how they'll be voting when they do. Mm-hmm. And most of their friends are. But I've said this a million times. Unfortunately, it's the girls.
It is.
And I'm sorry, I have to call out the girls. It's the females. Mm-hmm. The females are the ones who can be led astray. Mm-hmm. And that's sad, because I don't hear of all these guys that are the guys are all pro-Trump, conservative. And this is public and private schools, but it's the girls who are being led astray. And then the girls try to put pressure on their boys or their boyfriends.
And that's 100%.
For younger people that even care about politics.
That goes back to what we talked about earlier, Vic, that often, and I hate to say this about my own sex, some women and a lot of women are vicious to other women. They're just vicious. And so that's where that all plays in too, is they're going to be vicious. So there's a lot of girls that are not socialists, but the socialist girls, because girls can be so vicious, are horrible and bullying our younger kids these days over political issues.
Cindy says it's probably the Swifties. Maybe. Megan says the kids need to be told the truth, and people quit tiptoeing around because of hurt feelings. Once again, those are the factors that were played against conservative ideas and values. And the liberal Democrats did a marvelous job of that. And yes, this is why I say you should talk politics and you should talk religion in a polite, persistent, but direct way, because you can't accept lies. If you accept one lie because you're worried about somebody getting their feelings hurt, It's going to continue, and it'll get worse by the day. Those things will
That's
continue to
very
happen.
true.
And it was unfortunate, the story we told you last week, even though she hasn't said anything publicly, Taylor Swift is working with Judge Meechan's daughter, who has that's the judge who he's not going to. Trump, by the way, is trying to get the judge to recuse himself, have him removed from his case.
He should be, though.
But he's not going to be 10
No,
days.
he's not. He's
10
not
days
do
before
it.
trial, he's not going to
Nope.
be removed from the case. And not breaking down the whole case, but a lot of bad, a lot of wrong is going on there, especially considering that his daughter is so tied to the Democratic Party. And she does benefit by something bad happening to Donald Trump.
That's right.
She is also the person who is working with Taylor Swift to register, quote, Democrat voters. So, yeah, I mean, hey, you may love Taylor Swift and her music, and you may not think that she's getting political, but she is. And regardless of how you feel, you can be conservative and still like Taylor Swift's music. Okay, you can. You can like Taylor Swift, but you also need to be told who Taylor Swift is, and she wants Joe Biden in the presidency, not Donald Trump.
Yeah,
and do you think that that's good for America? And do you think that's good if she's trying to, quote, influence people and or children when Taylor Swift is not educated on politics? She's educated on music and making money, not politics. And so, yeah, she is working with the Democratic Party. That's just a fact.
It is a fact. It's sad, but it's a fact. And so many people love Taylor Swift. And other than her politics, she seems to be a relatively good role model on some cases. But I mean, if you listen to her music, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do hear it because some of my girls play it. But I'm like, you know what? You need to think about this music because there is a lot of bad words and stuff in her music, and parents don't even realize that.
Oh, Landon says Swift is as bad as Greta Thunberg and insignificant. I would not call her a skank, Landon, but you're allowed to use whatever words you want. It breaks my heart that Green Day are comedies. Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
but that's all
I
right.
like their music.
If people stand back and cower, nothing's ever going to change. Underground railroad type groups may be a good thing. Yeah, they may be. And those are some of the things that are happening. This may make you feel a little bit more comfortable. Michael Whatley is the RNC chair with Laura Trump, and he allegedly is a super power heavyweight guy when it comes to politics. This just came out as well. I think it came out last night over the weekend. Does this make you feel better about what happens with voting? Because we talk so often about voting. Heck, we had a situation last week where, we had a St. Charles County councilman, Joe Brazel, on with Kurt Barr, who's the elections director. And those are two Republicans debating over election integrity, filling out, cards. And by the way, we've gotten a lot of feedback.
We've gotten a lot of feedback from that one.
I think, did we have them on Thursday?
Yes, we had them on Thursday.
On Wednesday, it was the number one story in the Post-Dispatch throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Kurt Barr demanding an apology from Joe Brazel, who said that your guys are going to jail or threatened him with jail. They came on our show. They both agreed to do it in a live interview. And Joe apologized, and they both had their say, and man, it was great.
That was great. I was so proud that we didn't purposely have them on at the same time.
No, we did not.
I mean, so it wasn't like we set them up.
And both were asked in advance.
Yes, they were. And it wasn't like we were like, oh, it was like a gotcha moment. What Vic and I were trying to do there is show that if you're both Republicans, stop fighting amongst each other and giving the Democrats a leg up. And it seemed to be a pretty good outcome, I thought.
Todd says also Fox 2 said he has not apologized. And I was thinking, man, maybe they should watch the Cancel This show. Well, listen, with all due respect, there's some good people at Fox 2, but their management is terrible.
Right. And he did apologize here on the show.
He apologized twice. And when it comes to local news, they just don't do the job that they're supposed to do anymore. I mean, it's not their fault. I'm telling you, it's management's fault. The reporters don't know. They do what they're told to do. The anchors are told what they're told to say. They're all scared, running scared. They all want out. Trust me, I talked to people in the business. They wish that they could find something else. But so if Fox is saying he didn't, they apologized here. And do you really think Fox 2 is going to report and put the video on their TV station?
Yeah, heck no.
With the courtesy of Cancel This?
No, not with no. That would never happen. They would never give you credit, Vic. Never.
But the reason I bring the story up from that standpoint is the fact that Michael Whatley has come out and he has pledged. This is how the RNC is now doing things the right way. and how they were in such a horrible position with basically Mitt Romney and his niece, Ronna McDaniel. When's the last time you heard anything of this? He has pledged to ensure that the 2024 presidential election is not tainted by voter fraud. He also added that the RNC will make sure their lawyers and observers are physically in the room. Quote, he continues on, you have to be in the room. You've got to have observers and attorneys in the room when the votes are being cast and when the votes are being counted. So we're in the process of recruiting tens of thousands of volunteers, thousands of attorneys all across the country, so that all know that when we get into the election season, we are going to be in the room. End of quote. Is that possible for people who have been election workers? For people, is it possible to have these people inside the room? Will some sort of law have to be changed? I saw how it worked in St. Louis County between a Republican and a Democrat, and I loved what I saw. I just felt like it was done fairly, unless there was something that I could not see happening with the last election.
I think there will definitely be more oversight done now, because people do understand that some areas definitely had election fraud. They definitely did. And so I understand people like losing their shit over making sure that there is not election fraud this time going forward. You just have to be really careful on who you're accusing of doing that.
I hope they could do this. I don't know what's going to happen, how the hell you're going to get attorneys. You got to get volunteers. And as the RNC puts out word, we'll certainly push that out to you in regards to how you volunteer. But I've also heard from people who have tried to sign up and tried to be volunteers and be let go. And are they going to pay attorneys to do this? I know very few attorneys who go public with political views or actually try to help. My God, I hope they could. That's why the partnership that we have coming up pretty soon with an attorney, and we've talked about this before, David Gregory, who's also running for state Senate. When you talk about a conservative attorney, and he's not afraid to say it,
yeah, that's great.
You just don't have, especially personal injury attorneys. Tell me a personal injury attorney that's conservative, that's public about it. Dave also is 7 for 7 on cases of getting people their jobs back who were fired because they refused to get the cupcake. These are the kind of people that have to step up. I'm just worried that there's not enough of them. Dave has courage beyond and is like, I'm promoting myself that way. I'm going out there, and that's what my business is going to be run on. And that's why I'm going to partner with Cancel This. However, are there enough of them?
Right. We need more for sure, because there's so many that are not like David Gregory, that the average attorney.
Jeannie says they're all libs.
They are. No, Jeannie's not wrong. If you're in a room full of attorneys, I don't know what the percentage is, but the percentage is much higher that they're liberals.
Especially if it's personal injury.
Correct. You betcha. And defense attorneys probably too.
And defense attorneys, 100%. Look at Trump's attorneys. Some of them get brought up on charges because they're conservatives and try to back what's going on.
That's right.
From the chat line, so many attorneys I know are liberal. David is one of the few exceptions.
Truth.
Yes, these things happen. There was a good conversation, but some of the questions didn't get answered with the procedures that were done to completely do away with possible fraud. This about voting, somebody who worked there. Like, what was the procedure of transporting the thumb drives to the mainframes? This is from our conversation last week. Or why Kurt Barr, didn't get the machine's recertification after his team disconnected. They did get the recertification.
They did end up getting it. Yeah, I think that didn't come clear in there. They have been recertified.
And what the problem with that situation was, Joe Brazel didn't like the definition or meaning of recertified.
Right. And it was things that I think that it was clear in that particular conversation that one person knew what they were talking about and the other person wanted something and maybe didn't get it their way. So that was just to clear the whole thing up. So I think in St. Charles County, at least with that school board election, there was no election fraud. There absolutely wasn't. People just did not get out and vote.
I don't see it. No, I didn't see it at all.
They didn't get out and vote. Conservatives, a lot of conservatives, like it or not, but have their kids now homeschooled or in Christian schools, so they're not going to vote. And the message is And, you know, like the St. Louis Post-Dispatch came out and acted like that the Republicans were partisan and that's why they didn't win. Well, they weren't totally wrong. And what I'm saying about that is the Democrats all won. We know that's the truth, but their messaging is in their theories and DEI and all of that, but they don't come right out and say they're Democrats, where the Republicans come right out and say they're conservatives. That's the difference there. I think the messaging has to be in your content. And so the average voter who isn't like our listeners that are very informed, they want the one that acts like they're not political. And the Democrats acted like they weren't political.
No, I get it. I do. And Chris, I'm going to try to get you an answer to the question because you disagree with us. You said that he said a different thing than what you said when it came to that. So I'm going to try to get you an answer.
Yeah.
The point of this story was the fact of Michael Whatley with the RNC. Number one, wow. Thank God you have an RNC lead and chair who's going, we're going to do everything because they're concerned and they know what can happen when it comes to illegals and people voting who are not showing any sort of ID, not being legal citizens trying to vote. And when we know that elections are already razor thin, on the local level, it may take a couple hundred votes. You know, state level, it could be a couple thousand. Nationally, 10, 20, 40, 50,000. And of course, with all the illegals who have come in, you don't know what can happen. And it makes me get concerned about what could possibly be there, but at least we have a Republican National Committee that now gives a damn enough to actually put those words out there. Midnight says not enough conservatives are willing to stand up in the public sector and do the right thing, especially when it comes to law.
That's true.
I guess we see that.
Mm-hmm. We sure do see that. And the messaging of when the conservatives do is loud and proud, and that's great, but there's a way to get to the voters without looking like you're a crazy wackadoo too. That's part of the problem.
A wackadoo or a wackadoodle?
Both.
Okay, you get them both.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, and maybe it's the Republican thing because of what happened in 2020, but I find that most conservatives are suspicious and with good reason.
And with good reason. Good reason.
At least from the presidential standpoint.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm like, I question as well.
That's right. That's right. Well, and this is kind of going back to something else we were talking about, but Todd said, look at your local license bureau. When you're there, half the room is full of illegals or foreigners.
Are they really? I have not been in there.
Yes, he's right. You go in there. I was shocked when I went in there with my daughter to get her permit. There was maybe half the people in there could not speak English. It was like my doctor's office. I was shocked. And we have to come up with all these documentations. Todd, I don't know if you saw the same thing. And we were turned away because we didn't have one of them and had to come back. There, I shit you not, there was an illegal there that had nothing and got a permit. I couldn't believe it. It happened right before my eyes. Before my eyes.
How can American citizens do that and feel as if they're doing the right thing at a license bureau?
Look who's running a lot of the license bureaus now too, though. It's very interesting. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know who's running it. It's hard to trust anything, but we are in a blue. I mean, we are in a red state. It's not a blue state.
And that's why I was shocked when I saw, I am not kidding you, who was doing the license bureau thing. They could barely speak English themselves.
Oh my God.
I was so surprised.
Well, the cat's away, the mice will play.
That's exactly right.
And if people aren't speaking up and saying things, this is what's going to happen. By the way, Lizzie, your hair looks absolutely beautiful today, coming from Donna.
Oh, thank you.
I guess you took time to curl it. It looks really, really nice.
I did.
Why do the systems not communicate with encryption?
I don't know.
That's another political question when it comes to the voting. Exactly. Sam Page, St. Louis County License Bureau. That's what happens in St. Louis County.
For sure.
He's a liberal Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
He wants hardcore liberal policies. He promotes the things that Joe Biden wants.
That's right. He does.
I want to know now, not in October, how they are going to confirm legitimate voters. And who? National level? Look, I mean, that in the state of Missouri, I feel very comfortable because you have to show an ID.
Correct.
But I don't know how you do it on local level unless you just have to trust the poll workers. Is there video when people come in? Pam says our DMVs are privately owned and contracted out to the states.
They are.
So then you lose that layer. That's an issue. That's a problem.
That is an issue. That is a problem.
And it's something that we've been talking about as well.
Mm-hmm.
In St. Louis County, I'm in St. Louis County, Matthew says, close to Jeffco. So I go to the Arnold or Imperial license office. It still feels like America there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what that is? And I'll say it. That's white America.
That's right.
It is. I mean, that's what it is. And I hate to have to say that, but that's what it is when you go in and you look at the demographics. Also from the chat line, Social Security says voting registration, vital records, the draft should all communicate together. 100%. But they're not. And so many things have gone downhill in the last 3 to 4 years.
Well, it has. And people are saying on the chat line, like going back to the license bureau, going back to other things, when you call someone on the phone that for a license bureau, whatever, a lot of times they're speaking in Spanish. And I've said this before too. Somebody brought to my attention, even when you go to our own show on one of the audio apps, somebody starts speaking in Spanish in an ad. I mean, that is ridiculous. And that's not us doing that.
No, it's not. We'll continue to do what we can. We'll continue to bring those stories forward. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, the RNC is doing everything they can to make sure. Why not do you want on the up and up? If your party doesn't want everybody to know what's going on, you may be voting in a party that has bad intentions. And maybe that's what you want. Maybe you're all for bad intentions. Maybe you don't want people to have to prove that they're legal citizens. Maybe you know that that's going to help your Trump derangement syndrome and whatever the case may be, or even on a local level. You want illegals voting. Maybe that's what you want. And you know what? If that's you, shame on you. But guess what? You can like and do whatever you want from that standpoint. But when you start messing with the elections and people are trying to mess with elections, that's when we have a problem. A big, big problem.
That's right.
And thank God that Michael Watley and Laura Trump are trying to do everything that they possibly can to get attorneys and legitimate volunteers, people in these polling centers, polling places to watch people vote and to watch it being counted. Just think, I mean, could you imagine being a liberal Democrat and saying you're all for people not having to prove who they are?
They are. They say you
because if you're voting for Joe Biden, you're voting for that policy.
You are voting for that.
Seriously, think about that. Can you really look yourself in the face in the mirror? Can you have a good conscience knowing that you want illegals to vote for that are destroying this country right now? And you know they are. You have half a brain.
Yeah.
At least. I always say I have half a brain. You have half a brain. You're like me. You know right from wrong. You know what's going on. So is your hate and pride so much against the Republican Party that you can't handle a Donald Trump being in office? You'd rather suffer. You'd rather bite the hand that feeds you. I'm gonna go over here. I hate him.
But you know what?
I want illegal in my country.
And they're blaming it all on Donald Trump. But here's the thing: whether it had been Ron DeSantis,
blaming what on Donald Trump?
Well, everything. They're blaming the whole problem now of the open border on Donald Trump. You've seen that now, haven't you?
Of course.
I mean, and what's interesting, no matter what they're doing to Donald Trump now, the Republican Party has changed. So when Donald Trump is gone for 4 years, and say we get someone that is more Ronald Reagan-esque, okay, and that's great in theory, and say we get someone with all of Trump's policies, but still Ronald Reagan-esque or even JFK, the way they speak, they're going to crucify them the same way they're doing Donald Trump. So don't let anybody tell you, oh, I don't like the way Donald Trump. They're going to do it to any of the next Republican that has mega policies.
Big corporations, according to Troy, want all the illegals here as well, so they can pay them peanuts. It's the third world labor force.
Absolutely.
Because Americans did not want that. Or at least legals did not want to have to deal with that situation. The left knows that we have been pushing and having to show your license when voting. So they are purposely giving them licenses now, and why they are asking Americans to open their homes to these illegals so they will have a legal address as well. Projo says America's putting up the Trump signal today.
Yep. Well, and there you go. That's what we're going to see today. That's what we're going to see.
The Trump signal. Yeah.
The Trump signal.
Let us
there
know
it is.
For our viewers on the podcast, you see Trump's head, a silhouette of his head covering the sun.
There you go. I love it.
Our listeners can't hear that, but that's at least what we're showing you.
Hopefully that's what we see.
Brenda says, my husband will vote for Biden. Oh my God. How? Brenda, how? She says, even though he doesn't like Biden, because he votes on one issue only, unions.
And I still think there is a lot of that going. Now, all the union people I know.
Because Joe Biden's doing so much for the union.
Yeah, but some people, they really believe that. But I know most of the people I personally know that are union, they're not telling people that they're voting for Trump, but they are. But I still know some people still, like what's Brenda say. I've got some relatives that they hate everything.
Brenda's
that
husband
Democrats
has to be over 50, 55 years old if he still believes that company.
And I think that's most of the people that are voting for Biden are 55 to 65 in there and still think that the unions are better off under Democrats. Not anymore, though. They're not. But I've got relatives.
I'm not against unions, but Joe Biden has not done anything.
I'm not against unions either. I'm not against them.
Yeah, Brenda says I'm right. He is. He's over that age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, old habits die hard.
It does. It does.
But you know what? My dad was a union guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he voted Democrat. That's why I voted Barack Obama. Then he realized it was the worst decision he ever made.
Correct.
And he left the dark side and came to the bright side.
Yeah.
So there is hope. People just have to drop their pride.
Yeah.
It's a pride issue. It is I'm a union guy. I'm a union guy. Really? Give us the facts in the comparisons.
Yeah. What is
the liberal
Joe Biden
media
doing
will not
for you?
Exactly.
What's he doing for you?
I would love to hear why he is voting for union, thinking that he is all but because, like I said before, I'm not against unions at all.
I'm not against them at all. I'm not either. And people will be like, oh, you're conservative. You should be against unions. I was like, heck, Donald Trump wasn't against unions. But it's right. It's that mentality. I have a cousin that everything that the Democrat Party stands for now, he hates them, but he's still going to vote Democrat. He's still going to do it because once a Democrat, always a Democrat, and the Republicans are just bad. So you're right. That's a pride issue. And so, because I can talk about them in so many other things, but when it comes down to the safety of our country, and I'll even say, well, what do you think about the illegals coming in and taking your union job?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. These illegals are coming in. Whose jobs are they going to take first? Yours. They're going to take union jobs first. Companies are going to be non-union and pay these illegals. And they just look at me like,
well, it's also the Democratic Party knows that they're losing their voting base because the old school policies, they're getting older.
Right.
And I'm trying to be nice about it, but dying off. They got to have a new voting base.
That's right. That's right.
And they don't have that same message anymore that they had in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, you name it. Mm-hmm. And it's hurting them and it's killing everything that they have going on right now. Matt, there's so many other things I want to get into, but we can do it tomorrow too. We just don't have time, but isn't it always nice to end on a good note?
It is. Yeah. Let's end on a good note.
Well, we started the show off talking about Caitlin Clark and Iowa and what it's done for females and women's basketball and how a basketball story became a national story, even out of sports. Here's Kamala Harris. Leave it to Kamala and Joe, the worst president in the history of the country with the worst vice president, the worst administration. And the more they talk, the more they just show how dumb they really are. I love it because these are gold nuggets to show you who they are. Yet there are people who think that they should be voting for Kamala Harris. Listen to her talk about, I'm going to set it up for you. This is about NCAA brackets. Listen to what she said. She literally thought that women just had NCAA tournament brackets just recent in the last couple of years.
Do you know, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that the women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022? Think about that. And talk about progress, better late than never, but progress. And what that has done, because of course, when, I had a bracket, it's not broken completely, but I won't talk about my bracket. But you know what? Just how we love March Madness, and even just now allowing the women to have brackets, and what that does to encourage people to talk more about the women's teams, to watch them. Now they're being covered, and this is the reality. People used to say, "Oh, women's sports, who's interested?" Well, if you can't see it, you won't be. But when you see it, you realize, oh.
There's been what the hell was she saying?
Try over 40 years of NCAA women tournament.
A bit of a history lesson. Do you know?
Do you know?
She was drunk or something.
Do you know when it was 2022? They had brackets. What the truck?
What the hell was she even saying?
Who let her out?
I don't know.
I mean, I love it because we can show what she is.
Yeah.
She said the women didn't have a tournament. They didn't have a tournament. except in 2020, since 2020, 2 years, that there's only been a women's tournament with brackets for 2 years.
And she's serious when she says it.
Try go all the way back to 1982 and before.
Oh my gosh. You know what? She reminds me of the history teachers of today.
Yeah, her bracket is broken, all right.
Her bracket is broken.
I need a Venn diagram to understand that. Do you know women's brackets didn't exist before 2022? Oh my God. If Donald Trump said that, or his soon-to-be vice president pick, it would be run all over the world.
All over the place about how dumb they are. But they just, well, they think she's dumb too.
Projo says he feels dumber by the second. Look, I mean, she's high as freaking hell.
There's something with her.
Or drunk?
Do you know?
That's more of a drunk thing.
Yeah. Do you know? I'm thinking she's drunk.
Do you know? Okay, a bit of a history lesson.
Do you know?
Well, that's now a history lesson.
Do you know?
That's a Kamala history lesson.
I love
Do
it.
you know?
Do you know? I'm going to say that to you tomorrow. Vic, do you know? Do you know? Do you know?
Megan with the line of the day. Her math ain't mathin'.
Her math ain't mathin'. Her math ain't mathin'. I love it. I love it.
She's baked. Once again, everybody be careful today. Enjoy the eclipse if you're doing that. Troy says that's got to be vodka effect.
Yeah, vodka effect for sure.
Whiskey drink, a lager drink, a cider drink. I don't know.
Whiskey drink.
She gets knocked down, but she does not get back up again. That's for sure. Bong.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
And that certainly isn't like Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, that is crazy. They are all on some sort of a psychedelic thing.
You
in their
know?
brains.
Did you know? Okay, guys, we love you. Enjoy your day.
Vic, did you know the show is almost over?
No, it's not. It's not Coke, Nancy. No, she'd have more energy.
I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know. and Todd's going, hey.
And she's in line where she could possibly be considered or be
that
in
is
president.
Scary
Holy
stuff.
moly. Guys, we love you. Thanks for joining. Cancel this today. Fastest 2 hours in podcast. If you don't believe us, try us out. Let people know. Please like, subscribe, share the show. As Pam says, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
There you go.
That's her happy hour.
All day long.
For Projo, Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Have an amazing day, an eclipse day. We'll catch up with you guys. Thanks for the ideas on where to get some glasses. I'll see what I can do from that standpoint. We love you. We appreciate you. Have an awesome day. We'll see you tomorrow for cancelthisshow.com. Have a great day.